seen that?
No.
Oh,
it's so spicy.
What's his name? Gabriel Iglesias. And he's like, I don't know why all the Pepsi commercials in Mexico are always sexualized. But it's always like some hot lady. She's like, ooh, Pepsi.
That's right. I do
I'm
remember.
just like, what? So funny.
Ay, Dios mío. Pepsi.
Right?
Pepsi Cola. That's right, I do remember that one.
Sir, do you know why I pulled you over? Because you could smell him. You want a donut?
Does that mean we can keep the weed?
Get on the car, get on the car.
Oh my god.
Am I gonna die?
Your eyes are glassy.
Am I gonna die?
Let's see, do I actually have any paper that I can write on? Or
Hey, Anthony, how'd you get in there?
okay, I got one.
Guys with the Fat and the Furious.
I'm about to do a little plug for my next business that I'm going to start.
Okay.
It's called Kobe Scobies.
Kobe Scobies?
I brew my own kombucha,
All right.
and this is the last one that I had, so I'm sharing.
All right.
So this is
So consider yourself lucky.
it's
Yeah.
a fermented beverage, but it doesn't have any alcohol, trace amounts. It's a little bit sweet. It's like a fermented tea that I mix with fruit juice.
Okay.
This one's blueberry pomegranate.
Sounds awesome.
Sounds good.
And it's a little danky, a little vinegary, but sweet as well.
Okay.
Got a lot of probiotics. It's very good for the digestion.
So we'll run to the bathroom 4 times in the next 20 minutes.
We'll know
Cheers.
why.
Yeah, actually.
We're at the tavern, so.
Alrighty.
Chug,
Right?
chug.
That's way good.
So
That's
last
something you
time,
just want to sip on, just
Yeah.
Just
throughout
like
tonight.
taste, just
Ooh,
enjoy.
That is so good.
Good. Much better than vodka, right?
Vodka straight, yeah. Kind of tastes like I think they're called Gozen or something like that. It's like a fruity beer. Kind of tastes like that.
Okay.
I told you my monk is an expert at brewing honeyed mead. This is the closest I can come to it.
Because that's the only thing that you can do in a monastery is make alcohol. And
Accio
meditate.
approved. Seal of
Meditation, yes.
I'm gonna do a Kickstarter.
sweet. I'll sign up.
Kobe Scobies. Watch for it.
I will be an investor.
All right. So last time, the party made their way through the end of their dungeon, basically this cave, and they killed some dragon hatchlings. They befriended a spider, sort of. They defeated Cyan Wraith once and for all.
Yeah. Sheila.
Even though she's already got a name, yes.
And she will be my pet.
And then they made their way to the town, or the city of El Turiel, which is where Leosin said to meet up with a specific paladin, Onthar Froom. Yep.
Let's go, Mr. Froom.
And what they did first, though, is they did a little bit of shopping around. They met an eccentric gentleman by the name of Morris and talked with him about some idols that they wanted to sell off, and he bought a few collector's items from them. And then on their way to the tavern, which is called A Pair of Black Antlers, they discussed their official coming together as the Order of the Broken Spear in honor of the fact that they've broken 2 spears.
I feel like we need to have like an
2 spears, 1 half dragon.
Can we all get like a badge made for us by some guy and stitched onto our
No way,
clothes
dude.
or armor or
Tattoos.
something? Okay, tattoos.
So they do it. That's how they do it in the streets. It's tattoos.
But like the old school monk way of tattooing, where you take the bone and you're like with the hammer. Yeah,
Lowry type. Oh.
let's do it.
Is he done yet?
Fan art, design or tattoo.
Yes, please.
I'll start working on it.
Rom sitting there.
If it's cool, I might actually get it as a tattoo.
So is the plan to head directly to the tavern, or are we taking any
Are we
detours?
okay to stop off at a money changer really
I
quickly?
would too.
Can we? Is there one nearby?
Heavy laden.
Yeah, you guys are in the inner district, so there's a couple money changers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's.
Yeah. So anybody who needs to, who needs to change out. Yeah. I mean,
using standard.
unless you want an interesting character in the money changer, I mean,
I'm always down for
I
interesting.
just don't want him to screw me over.
his name is Nick. He's young, but he's got ambitions. But nothing really important about him.
So he's an apprentice right now. He's actually new on the job.
No, this is his real job, but he doesn't want to be. I don't want to be a money changer forever.
Is there
He says he's counting silver and marking things off on an abacus without even looking at him.
I probably shouldn't ask, but is there a fee?
No, there's no fee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pro bono money changer.
Yep.
Nice.
'cause
He
he must
knows
be
we're
an
the
intern. We're the Order of the Broken Spear. It's giving us a discount. So what's the copper to?
So it's like
10 copper to silver.
10.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So 100 to gold.
And he offers you platinum pieces too. If anybody wants to partake, put 10 gold into a platinum
Yes,
piece.
I do. Alright,
So
so
only got me like 2 gold.
no.
So let me think, make sure I'm doing this right. 100 copper is 1 gold.
Yep, 100 copper is a gold.
Perfect.
10 silver for 1 gold.
Thornock, are you still there?
Still here.
Okay, perfect. Just making sure.
10 silver, 1 gold, right?
Yep, 10 silver for 1 gold.
Okay, so that's gonna be.
I'm gonna switch out like 500 of my gold for platinum.
Okay, so you get 50 platinum.
I just have it all in gold.
That's
it's
why-
just easier.
That's why I keep my holdings in pearls.
You would.
1 necklace.
1 necklace pearls.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Easy to find, easy to lose.
Yeah, I know, right?
And behind the scenes, Lunera also got herself. She's gone to a blacksmith and talked with the smithy about redesigning that splint armor that she has. She's paid a little bit of gold for that. That's already taken care of.
Quick question.
Oh, thank goodness. Alt Z works.
Oh, good. As I am, in my storyline, a blacksmith, is there a way that I can do this tweaking on my own? Or do I do need the help of a actual blacksmith?
If you want to try, you can try and do it on your own.
Okay.
Is there any magical places for me to go, like some crazy shop of spells or?
You can find a few libraries. You can find a few magic shops around.
I just want to kind of peruse to see what's available at one of these magic shops.
Are you going to one inside the inner part of the city, or are you going to the merchant district for this?
Let's just stay in the inner part of the city.
The inner part of the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tag along with him, make sure he doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah. So
I'm also gonna come along.
We'll stay together.
Okay.
everybody moves as one.
I don't trust you. I know you.
A huddled group.
Yeah, a huddled group just marching along.
Just the same as if you see
Everybody within attack of opportunity range. So are you going to try and make your own armor then? Or are you going to...
I was thinking about it, but as you know, in the fighter world, I pretty much made my own armor all the time.
Okay.
So I just don't know if I could try to.
It's up to you. If you want to pay a blacksmith, it's 50 gold that we talked about, which you already had paid. Or if you wanted to try it on your own, it'd probably be about 20 gold. So you'd get 30 back, because the 20 gold is like renting the space and everything from the blacksmith and taking up part of his time.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me it'll be a strength check, and you add your proficiency bonus because you're proficient with blacksmith tools.
Proficiency.
So you'll add your strength and +2 for your proficiency.
Okay.
That'll be +5, right? Because you have a 16 strength.
Should be, yeah.
So 15. It looks like it's a mod +3.
+3 for your strength, and then you get your proficiency bonus on top of that, which is +2.
20.
So 20 total?
So 15 +3 is 18 plus.
No, sorry. 15 +3?
You rolled a 15.
My
Oh, you
apologies.
rolled a 15.
So I rolled a
Okay,
15.
alright.
So 18.
So
Okay.
18.
I thought you were just counting your strength as the actual ability. So a total of 20.
Yes.
Yeah. So, is anybody, it's going to take you several hours, so you kind of leave the group and everything, but you will be able, so go ahead and add 30 gold back, and you will be able to kind of modify it to your own desire. So, that was good enough.
Cool.
And what were you were looking for, like a magic
shop?
Yeah, I just wanted to look around, see what they had.
So you try a few places. There's a couple like novelty stores where they sell like drift globes or ever burning lanterns, that sort of thing. You know, kind of the stuff that the noble people would like because it's quaint. You know, there's a portable hole.
That Kvoth might make using his.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got your arrow catch or your bloodless, you know, kind of stuff. Yeah.
In his, as we're looking at these different ones, would there be any place that I'd find a component pouch?
Oh yeah, you can definitely find like pretty much every magic shop. It's like in a bin, right?
I want to pick one up.
Okay.
First place we find that's of good quality.
Yeah, I'll take 2.
Everyone.
I don't want to have to go and find more components. And
Yeah.
I assume they
Everyone
have
sells the same pouch.
an assortment.
Every shop in this area is very fine
So
quality.
this is the fidget spinners for magicians.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to pick up a healing potion too. Can I grab one somewhere?
Yes, so you'll have no problem finding healing potions here.
They're
50 gold each.
I'm gonna get one. Just might die.
And if you wanted to pick some up as well, 50 gold per healing potion.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick up 3.
Okay.
Mr. Moneybags over here. Alright, let's see.
A component pouch is 25 gold pieces.
25. Okay,
Yep.
perfect. I will take it, sir. Take my money.
Or you can buy the special gilded pouch, which is 30 gold pieces, and it has a wonderful gold leafing on it.
Oh, this guy knows his bards.
He is appealing to my better senses. I want to insight check that.
To your worst senses.
I want to insight check him and see if it's real gold or if he's trying to smooth me.
Oh boy, here we
Is it
go.
potion of healing greater or
Just potion of healing.
potion of healing?
Is it just potion of healing or is it health potion?
Potion of healing.
Potion of healing.
Just
plus
type,
120.
just type healing. And
I mean, it's not gold. He's not advertising it as gold. He's just saying it's
fancy looking.
fancy gold. Like it's gold leafing. Like
Yeah, gold.
it looks like somebody stitched gold thread into it. It's very nice.
What are they called again? Sorry.
Component pouch.
Actually, I think you
I'm trying
have
to
to
search.
My sir,
Search for
15 is as high as I can go for such an item.
Well, I'm afraid that you won't be able to buy a pouch here then because pouches are 25 gold.
Oh,
minimum.
my apologies. I can't go more. You said how much is the
black.
Oh,
30.
perfect.
Click on the
30.
plus.
Okay, so it's 30 for the one.
30 for the gold
Take
leaf.
50 gold
25.
away from your inventory.
So it's five extra for the other one.
Yep, 5 extra to get that fancy pouch on the outside.
Can you give me a I know, right? Can you give me a bulk discount because we're buying 2 of these?
I mean, are you buying 2 of the gold leaf ones?
I'm poor right now.
Okay. How about I sing the songs of your glorious goods everywhere I go.
No song is worth 5 gold. I'm sorry.
All right. I'm gonna give him the 30
30, yes.
for my nice shiny.
You have to be gilded.
Have to be
Oh, it looks fantastic.
fancy. I'm gonna be singing.
You get a plus 0.5 to all charisma checks. Round it down.
I'm walking down.
Round it down, of course.
Shiny.
Um,
I'm walking down this.
But you don't find any magic shops that have like practical items in it, right? It's all these sort of
Really want.
oh yeah, it's all this sort of like there's literally one that is a portable campfire. It literally just walks along behind you. It's more of like a fire pit on like metal legs, but it's like this gold. But that's like 150,000 is what you're looking at for that.
I could just make that for like 1 gold.
Let's go talk to the paladin.
But I do need to see in the light.
Is there a bag of holding anywhere?
Not in the inner district shops that you find.
Bummer.
All right. On to the 2 antlers.
So you guys are on your way back. You pass by the blacksmith shop as Lunar comes out wearing her new splint mail.
And I go, nice armor.
Thank you. I made it myself.
Very nice. Where are we getting our tattoos?
Oh, let's wait until we kill Tiamat. I think that'll be our.
You know, you could just acid etch some tattoos into your skin. You got plenty of acid.
Okay. My hands aren't very steady.
Do them on our face, they'll end up looking like those guys from Game of Thrones.
I think we have to design the tattoo first.
Okay, we'll design.
I don't know what it's called.
You just do this, and then if everybody else likes it, we can just do that.
Spear, man. Like 2 of them crossed, but broken.
2 broken cross
And an
spears.
X. And then some
With,
writing.
like,
So wouldn't it just be 2 sticks?
Like a
with
dragon
tops?
behind it
Yes.
that's dead.
With its eyes like rolled back and its tongue
All right.
and a severed head.
So the spears should be sticking out of it, and
Yeah,
but
they're
they're
holding
broken,
it up like
right?
this. And then they're broken.
But they're broken, yeah.
But I mean, I
'Cause
was
that
thinking
translates.
They
One
are
way,
actually
strong,
sticking
strong.
into it.
Sure.
They're broken.
On Tharp Room.
Oh my God.
Right.
Let's go find this guy.
Yes.
So you guys head through the merchant district, back into kind of that sort of it's a middle class area, right? Because you guys pass by the peasantry area on the way in, which even for it being peasantry, it's nice. It's
I wouldn't know.
well, I mean, to you everything's nice. Everything looks really good, right? Like you don't know comfort, so. But to most people, it's just kind of like it's nice even for the poor people. There doesn't really appear to be any sort of like dark district, any sort of like, oh, you don't go to Ogden, you know, you don't.
Are there any beggars that we pass along
No.
the way? Anybody asking for money? Or anything?
Yeah, everybody. I mean, there's a few people that seem like they're kind of just sitting on the side, and they've got like frayed shoes and everything. But as you're like, oh, okay, there's somebody that I can donate to. Some cleric comes up and like, right, they get them up and they like, come on, I've got food this way, and they lead them off and everything. Like it, and that's something that you all notice just with kind of your general senses as you guys are walking around. There's a lot of clerics here. There are a lot of different churches and different clergy. You know, at least 3 paladins ride in and just kind of trot past without even a glance.
Do we see anything about the particular orders that they belong to on their sigils?
Mm-hmm. You see a lot of holy symbols for different gods. You see
Jeff the God of Biscuits.
Yep, Jeff the God of Biscuits, of course. What would be?
Biscuits and the god of
You think that
grain.
I'd know
Together
gods a
make
little
the
bit.
superpower god.
God of hairdos.
I would say if you're looking specifically, you'll see Eldath, Shantae,
What about Shaniqua?
United States of America. American.
Maestra, a little bit, the goddess of magic, a few of her
I know
priestesses.
this one.
And it's kind of like a general, like, there doesn't appear to be any sort of like dark gods or anything like that. It's a lot of more of these civilized gods. There's no god of the forest, there's no god, but there's like the god of poetry is represented. It's sort of like, yeah, sort of like the civilized gods, the more proper gods. Yes. And then you arrive at a pair of black antlers. And it gets its name because the 2 outer walls are these kind of just like twisting pairs of black antlers made from other antlers, and it just kind of curves up over the archway.
Huh.
And
Hey guys,
like
look at
Jackson
the
Hole.
Yep.
look at the pair of
Yeah.
black antlers.
I wonder if that's the place we need to go.
I wonder if
Do
that's
they
it.
look tiefling in nature, these antlers?
No, they look like deer antlers, thankfully.
Good.
I believe we had horns.
Some people don't distinguish.
Yeah.
Some people are racist.
That's right.
Our tiefling is.
I just want to be walking into like a tiefling headhunter
Yeah,
combat.
that would suck.
You walk in, everybody you're real quiet. You can tell they've all got swords pointed at you. Yeah.
Well,
They've
with
got
my
mini
time
crossbows
here, I
on
haven't
their
run
arm.
into another tiefling yet.
That could be
Yes.
bad.
That could be a bad thing.
Fair enough.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to before we walk in. I'm going to cast message, and I want to talk to Accio. Be like, Accio, I've been trying something new. Can you hear me?
Who said that?
Oh, Brom. I take that as a yes. Hey, Brom.
Wait, can I talk back to him in message?
Yeah. So message you deliver a tweet basically, and then you get a tweet in response.
So only I can hear, and only you can hear.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Alright.
basically, instant messenger.
Yeah.
I think it's working.
Is that,
I've been
is that at 140 characters or 280?
We got this special.
140.
I've been practicing this new spell. I want to make sure it works before we go in.
You're out of characters.
What spell?
What spell?
What? Did you say spell? This spell. Oh, I'm so confused. I think you
And
were
then the
saying
spell's broken.
Which-
Which spelled it?
Which, it's a ritual, right? And it costs, what,
Oh,
10?
this one's just a cantrip.
It's just a cantrip? Oh, message is just a cantrip? Okay.
Just one
It's, I'm thinking of sending then. Is
One round
the,
duration, so that's 1 minute.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you didn't do
No, or just like
minor
one
illusions?
No, I went with message instead because I thought it was more suitable to
Sure.
me
I didn't realize you were talking
gathering
about this
important
stuff.
information and
Uh-huh.
distributing
and
it.
messing with
Well, I
people,
want to,
of course.
messing with
Messing with people.
Yes.
Yep.
You're not worthy enough.
So,
They're moving, but I
so
can't hear it.
you sit there for, like, you guys are all, like, looking at the antlers, and you can just, every now and then, those of you who are more perceptive than the others, just see Akio kind of, like, twitch and look around and, like, look at Brahm and then look away, like, I know I'm not supposed to be looking at him, but I can't help but look at him.
And then I want to try it on Thornock and see what he does. Thornock, can you hear me?
Do you say that out loud, or is it in your head?
Out loud.
What?
Huh?
It's me, Brahm. I'm talking to you in your head.
You're a wizard.
Still out loud, I'm assuming.
Not
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a wizard.
Not
You
quite,
idiot.
but close enough. Close enough. Are you prepared?
What?
I'll take that as a yes. Like, let's go.
All right.
You actually cut it out.
Okay, perfect.
Over.
Over now.
Reese, were you... Did you hear that okay, or was that kind of a tough time?
Well, actually, you guys cut out. That was really me saying, huh?
Oh, okay. He asked if you were prepared in message speak.
Sure.
Yeah. So you guys head in to a pair of black antlers, and you open up the door, and it's just boisterous, like everybody's having a good time. There's a bard playing the flute in the corner.
You're better.
It's alright.
He's all right.
He's all right.
I mean, pretty good. He's all right.
Pretty good. He's all right.
Bard off. Go.
Yeah, we have.
He sees your lute and he starts playing harder.
I tip my hat to him.
He actually gives you a nod as well, like he recognizes the instrument on your back. And go ahead and roll me a perception check.
19 plus.
Is this all of us or just him?
Just him.
Okay.
You guys find Froom. I'm getting a drink.
This is perception.
Yep.
Yes.
19.
19. You notice that he has a symbol on his lapel.
Okay.
It is a silver harp in a crescent moon.
Okay.
So you guys start spreading out looking for this Mr. Froom. Sir Froom. Bartender comes up.
Around, please, for me and my friends. How much will that be?
Depends on what you want.
The cheapest, disgustingest stuff you have, please.
Well, that'll be. What does beer cost? Like
Cost a piece of copper.
like $20, I'm assuming, or something. I don't know.
What is dollars?
We have weird money here. You guys changed out your money, and it looks like pink and purple paper. It's weird.
It's all good.
If anybody's watching, shout it out.
Shout. Shout. Yeah! You know, it's a good song when everyone starts joining in.
Container capacity. Yeah, whatever. 3 copper each.
Each? Okay, so what is that in gold?
And that
46, 9. It's a gold. Here you go. 1 gold.
Just the full gold?
Yeah.
All right, thanks. That's why you're lower on money than everybody else.
tip.
Drinks all around.
Well, you gotta tip your
That wasn't me. That was the bartender. Like he just knows things.
I'll lean over to him and say, make sure that our dear bard friend gets a drink as well.
Of course.
on your own dime, please.
He can can have mine. I appreciate it.
Okay, have hers.
But
Got it.
I just say, bar on me.
And he just looks at the bard and he raises a finger and the bard kind of gives you a nod and then just gets back to playing the flute. Playing the flute's hard when you're trying to drink too.
Gotta wet his whistle.
that would be impressive.
His literal.
His literal whistle.
Right.
He pulls out a slide whistle.
Before the bartender leaves, I ask her. I say, it's a she. Right?
Oh,
I say,
that's why I tipped.
pardon this. You wouldn't happen to know a man by the name of Ontar Froom? I hear that he frequents this establishment.
She chuckles and she goes, yeah, well, he's been in here a few times for sure. And she just kind of looks over to the right, and sitting right next to Akio is a large man with a big paunch. And he's got a bald head and a big kind of bushy beard that just hangs down pretty low. And he's wearing kind of a nice tunic. It's blue and white, and it's got on one breast is a symbol of a hand. It's a silver gauntlet, actually. Yep.
Okay. I just bow to him and I say, Master Paladin, I presume?
Yeah, who's asking today?
I say, just a band of adventurers. We were told to seek you out on behalf of Leosin, a monk you may know.
Oh, you're the ones he was talking about.
Yeah, we're the Order of the Broken Spear. What's up?
He didn't give me that name.
We're trying it out.
All right.
It's Star-Lord.
Well, he raises a mug to you and he says, cheers to you. And he takes a drink and he goes, so what can I do for you today?
Well, I said, we have news to report to Leosin. He said that you would know where to find him.
Well, Leosin and me are working closely side by side if you want to give the report to me.
Do we trust him? Can I look at him and be like,
Insight?
you're a paladin,
Insight?
but am I insightful enough?
Make an insight check. I have
You probably have a better insight.
proficiency there.
Yeah.
Plus 5.
He looks all right to you. He's got a drink in his hand.
Yeah, drink. You're fine.
15.
Yeah, I mean, he's a paladin, right? He doesn't look like he's got any reason to be lying to you right now.
I say, I mean no offense, forgive us for being cautious, but we've not met. Do you have any way to perhaps help convince us that you are, in fact, who you say you are? The information that we have is quite sensitive, and if it fell into the wrong hands, it could do a lot of harm.
He sits there for a moment and he just kind of gives you this eye. That's the right answer, Fred. One for her, please. And then he sits back and he takes another drink and he sets it down and he goes, you can never be too careful with who you trust in these times. I'll take you to Leosin. Just let me finish my drink here.
Perfect, thank you.
And he looks over at you and he goes, you look like a man who can put away his liquor.
Yeah, sometimes. Not last time, but sometimes.
I mean, half a bottle is considered, I think, putting away his liquor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think I want to be doing that.
Well, perhaps...
I'm sticking to mead. The hard stuff really hard lately.
Shame. I was hoping to see if I could drink you under the table.
Today?
Well, tonight. I mean, it's a little early in the day to be drinking more than just mead.
It's a little, but yeah, I'm down. I always love a good competition,
Wonderful.
especially with good paladin folk.
My good paladin, what does this town believe about gambling and how do they feel about making wagers?
Well, this is a very churchy town, friend.
Fair enough. Just wanted to make sure that I was in the right
Just
the
a
right crowd.
friendly drinking game between bearded
Yes,
brothers.
of course. He takes another deep drink, and as he's drinking, you can see he's just looking at you each and just kind of eyeing you up and down over his, continually drinking as he's eyeing you all up
I'm gonna
and
whisper at
deciding.
Thornak and say 5 gold that Akio wins.
Do you whisper or do you message him?
Whisper, message.
I'll take that.
Then say to Lunira, hey, 5 gold on. I got 5 gold on Akio. What do you think?
Yeah, okay.
Same thing.
I just reply, sorry friend, I only wager on myself.
Fair enough.
Do you whisper Akio and say 5 gold that he's gonna beat you?
Hey, Akio, 10 gold, he's gonna beat you.
Just
Hedging your bets.
That's all you get back in the message is a middle finger.
It's just a boom emoji.
Fair enough.
So he finishes his drink and he slams it down on the table, and he hoists himself up, and he goes, "The back room. We'll be back there, Gertrude." And she kind of gives a 2-finger
Thanks
salute.
for the drinks, Gertrude.
Of course. Thanks for the gold.
Anytime.
And he leads you into the back, and he kind of opens up the door, and there's a few people kind of sitting back there. They look like they're tending weapons, you know, they're sharpening them, they're getting their armor kind of polished and everything. And when they see Froome walk in, they stand up and they give him a bow, kind of, and he just kind of waves them away, like back to work, back to work. And then he leads you back through that door in the back and takes you to where Leosin and Nessim are sitting, and they're just kind of sitting there quietly. Nessim is meditating, and Leosin is deep in a book. And he looks up and he goes, "You're alive. I mean, of course you're alive, but I just didn't expect to see you so soon."
I walk up and give him I don't know, maybe a nice forearm clasp.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Hug is perhaps too familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And
And of
It
course,
sounds like he wants dead.
what was that?
what was that, Reese?
It sounds like he wants us dead.
I say, well met, brother.
And to you as well.
Would you expect it?
Please sit. And he looks over at Froome, and Froome nods, and he goes, "Oi, chairs!" And they bring in a few chairs for you guys to sit on and everything. They're just kind of small bar stools, so Thornock looks a little comical. It's just right for Braum, though.
Oh, I was gonna say, excuse me, do you have anything to swallow?
How cautious do we want to be here? Do you guys want to do any sort of like perception, insight type checks, or see if there's a minor illusion that somebody's pretending to be real and who really isn't, or do we just jump right in?
I don't necessarily like sense any danger, like have a bad feeling,
They were-
you know, like
yeah.
it just feels. I don't think
The
there's any
rebellion
danger.
would be in the back of a bar. That's what I think. So,
I don't trust any of them.
Of course.
are we having this conversation directly in front of
It is happening over the course of a minute as Braum relays messages to everybody back and
Please,
forth.
let me connect you. The operators.
I still talk out loud.
Yes, of course. I don't trust any of them, says Thornock in the middle of this silence.
Sitting there, hold one moment, Leosin. We have lots to tell you, but just
Trying to figure out what they're saying. Oh, guys, stop.
I don't really trust
I
them. Stop.
say, well, we have a lot to talk about.
I would assume so. If you're here, that means that the Colt's on the move.
I say, we arrived at the camp and we found it mostly deserted. However, before leaving, we felt it prudent to investigate the cave that they were so closely guarding.
You were able to get in the cave?
It was guarded, but we managed to make our way through.
Well,
We met with a fair amount of resistance. We were able to quell all of it. And among other things, we were able to find some dragon eggs, which we destroyed. There were 3 black dragon eggs. And others that we could find. And also happened to both meet and defeat both Mondath and Cyanide.
Cyanide.
really?
Yeah, I killed them both.
She nearly died.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Twice.
right. Cyanide.
Not that we're keeping count.
Cyanide has 2 on me, but thankfully I have friends. They were
A
able
very good thing.
to both save my life and defeat our enemies.
That's very.
Cried a
I-
tear onto her.
Did you find anything in the cave that might tell you about their whereabouts.
I hand him the papers that Mondath had. It was let's see, I wrote it down here when I grabbed them. It says they are. Where's my inventory? Letters and such from Mondath.
So helpful.
Some of it's bad poetry about dragons, if you remember.
Bad poetry about dragons, as well as yes, other things. And I say, unfortunately, this is all we were able to discover thus far.
And he kind of rolls it open and he gives it a quick once over, and then he closes it and kind of hands it to Nessim, and Nessim just tucks it away in a pouch.
So
And
we did try to apprehend Mondath, but before we were able to question her, she killed herself.
that seems to be the way these cultists are operating, right? And he looks over at Froome, and Froome nods in my experience as well.
And Scion Wraith, unfortunately, had a bolt of fire burned through his abdomen, so we never had a chance to question him either.
He's too dangerous to be kept alive.
Most half-dragons are. Well, thank you for bringing that report in. I'm going to give those maps a once-over.
Who else is in the room?
So it is Nessim, Froome, and Leosin.
Okay, so no other.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. Please stick around for a few days. I need to discuss some things, and I may have something else that I need to talk with you about. And he glances at Froome, and Froome kind of just crosses his arms a little bit. You can't really tell. The guy's unscrupulous, yeah, behind his beard.
I say we are anxious to put a stop to this cult and end their plans that they have for the Dragon Queen.
Good. We'll need people who are willing to fight. In the meantime, the tavern has an inn upstairs. Feel free, 2 nights on me, at least, just to cover any sort of costs of any food you need, any board, that sort of thing. I can't provide you all the alcohol you want, but feel free to have it a little bit.
It's very generous for a monk.
Is that
Well,
messaged or?
We try.
No.
He has friends in high places.
I'm skeptical where this money's coming from. I know money always comes with a price somewhere. So.
Yeah, where are you getting your money?
I trust him because he's a monk.
Perfect. That's all I
I
need.
trust the beard guy because he has a beard and he drinks. So.
It's monks like monks, bearded people like bearded people,
Check.
obviously.
Short people just hate everybody.
Yep.
I can attest to that. It's true.
And he nods to Froome, and Froome kind of leaves you guys alone a little bit, and then Leosin leans forward and he says, "So, Froome is a very interesting man. He wants to make sure that everybody who is here is kind of worthy. Not so much like you guys aren't worthy, it's just he doesn't really know you. He needs to get to know you a little bit better. So while you're here, I would really appreciate it if you could try and impress the man."
Easy enough. And I start juggling my dancing lights. Raise my eyebrow like, that's what you're talking about?
I mean,
he's gone.
a little bit.
Froome left already.
So just over the next couple days, get to know him, try and get in good with him.
Drinking contest.
But we know that he likes drinking. What other pastimes does he enjoy?
I mean, he's a paladin, so obviously he's got a lot of martial prowess. So
Competition.
Does he enjoy a good bout?
yeah, Froome enjoys a really good bout.
I'm gonna look over at Thornock and then at the others, all our other fighters. That's up to you guys. Look at this.
Okay. Well, let's pass the afternoon and then find him at night and have a drinking contest.
Yeah. To win his trust.
Perfect.
Okay.
Alrighty, so the afternoon passes. Everybody kind of does whatever little bits of shopping they need to. Again, is anybody doing anything specific, or do they need to do anything specific before we get to the evening?
I want to try my ring.
Okay, so go ahead and roll for your hour.
It was an intelligence check?
Yep.
11.
Okay.
You get
It's coming along.
That was with
Again, the hour limitation is more like you look at it too much and you just can't focus on it anymore. You start making mistakes and you start losing progress if you go too long, because it is a really complex puzzle ring.
I'm going to be spending the day gossiping with the local innkeepers and tavern
Okay.
people.
All right. So streetwise, isn't it? Where's that?
There's investigation, history, insight.
I actually is he still in the tavern?
Froome?
Froome?
Oh yeah, he's back out front now.
I wanna sit down with him, and we don't have to have this conversation in game, but I wanna just like get to know more about paladins,
Okay.
basically, and just kind of chat him up.
So he tells you a little bit about his order. He actually belongs to Torm, I believe it is. Let's see.
Or the Iron Fist.
Paladin of Torm, the god of heroics and bravery.
Okay.
He talks. Of course, he talks a lot about Torm and how deep of a connection you have to a god in order to become a paladin. It's one of these things where you really have to put yourself in harm's way, and you have to put yourself between the innocent and the guilty. Those are the things that he really stresses. And a lot of the things, and every now and then as he's talking, he kind of shouts it a little bit, and a few of the people in the corner kind of give him a wave, and he's like, "Squires."
I in a non-braggadocio way, kind of talk to him about how we have, saved essentially the people in Green Nest, and the fight that I had with Cyan Wraith, and the innocent lives that we saved, and things like that. Kind of work that into the conversation.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
While he's telling the persuasion,
And you'll get.
Sorry, I interrupted
Yeah,
you.
go on.
I was gonna say, while he's telling the persuasion, I want to. I know that the dancing lights, I can use it and manipulate it to make it look like things and stuff. Can I do it to make as he's telling the story and making it more bravado?
So you're currently around. Are you around looking at taverns, or are you sticking
I would assume I
around?
would just be in the common room if we're in the tavern.
I didn't know if you were going to other taverns as well to talk to innkeepers and
at
such.
some point.
Okay.
Yes.
All
So
right.
after.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and give you a +2 on that for him
At this
dancing
point,
lights,
I'm
kind of.
still in that one. I figured I'd just be
In
hitting
that
parties.
case.
And I just need a performance check from you.
Sorry to the Ewoks.
Yeah. Run to gosh.
16.
Okay.
And I rolled 11.
Okay. So 13 total. He seems impressed. And then you start getting into the lights and everything, and he kind of starts seeing it, and he kind of starts giving this look like, okay, it sounds like you're bragging now.
Okay.
So you have to cut it short a little bit, but he does buy another round for you, and thank you for your service to the people of Greenest.
I'll be around if you need me. Now I'm gonna go and make
So
a round.
go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. We'll just do it that way.
That would be an 8 plus 7. So that's 15.
15. So you learn a few things. You learn that recently there's been some talk that one of the churches is going to be hosting this year's banquet. They have this big celebration for when the light at the top of the city, this giant light that basically refracts and drives away the undead.
Okay.
And it's just kind of one of these things where it's just like so they have this sort of, it's not so much like a festival, it's just kind of like the clerics of the orders are kind of gather at a specific church, and this year it's been kind of a hot contention because it is a specific 50th anniversary of something or other. Okay. So there's you kind of learn a little bit about that. There doesn't really seem to be too much going on in the town. People are talking about how Froome's kind of taken over a pair of antlers. There's some people who are like, well, I used to go there, but apparently they don't want Melora in there when Torm is in there, So
Right.
it's not like we're fighting or anything. It's just one of those things where you just want to stay away.
So as we're talking, since bards are typically the news bearers of things, I'm going to plant the seeds of talk of heroes. I want to say that's me, Unless they talk of these heroes that saved Greenest and fought dragons and called the Order of the Broken Spear and just sow the seeds of.
So you, over the course of these several hours, you say this probably, 50 times, and about 4 times they go, "Oh yeah, I heard about that whole thing in Greenest." Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and then they go, and then like at one point, one of the guys goes, "What was that line? They came in the night, but do not fright." Then he kind of like he kind of forgets it, but it's a line from a song that you wrote.
Perfect.
In fact, it's the one. If you remember, it's the one you sang in Greenest the day after in the town square. It seems to at least made it here.
Absolutely. I lived here.
Luna, are you gonna do anything for the rest of the day until the evening?
Definitely gonna catch up on some much needed rest.
Okay.
I need to go to a blacksmith.
All right. So Thornock makes his way down through the market district, probably just to the closest blacksmith, which happens to be another half-orc. And he kind of looks up as you approach. Morning, afternoon, whatever it is.
Daytime.
Can I help you?
I want to sell 2 hand axes.
Just selling stuff today?
I also am curious if you can attach spikes to a shield.
Well, I mean, I can attach spikes to anything. This is Spicus. And he points at the sign, which is a very crude sign that says Spicus over the top of it.
I just nod because I can't read.
It's okay. It might not even say that. He is a half orc as well.
Appropriate.
The sign maker told
It
me
says
that's
like
what it said anyway.
Spurkus.
Well, I can definitely. I mean, so it's the 2 hand axes and what else?
And then I just want him to attach spikes to my shield, and I show him the kite shield.
Okay. So the hand axes are about a gold that he gives you each for him, if you want to sell them.
It's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
And he looks at the kite shield and he looks it over. Not a bad design. And then he let's see. So attaching is just going to cost you 5 gold, and I'll have it ready in about an hour for you.
Sounds good.
Great. And he takes the shield and takes the gold, and he walks away. And as you're kind of moving off to go do something else while you're waiting, you just hear like this popping sound, as it sounds like he's driving one of the spikes right through the shield.
That's fine. I trust him.
Magical.
And then an hour later, you actually come back, and he pulls out the kite shield. And do you remember what the symbol was on the shield? Because it belonged to a knight. But I can't remember what I had the symbol for.
They said it was a stag.
Was it a stag?
No, it was a boar.
It was a boar, right? Okay. So,
Oh yeah, it was a silver boar.
so the boar, where the boar's tusks would be, there's 2 spikes. And everywhere else is just kind of like in a pattern around it, but that's like specifically he drove spikes through those tusks for you. And it's a really good job. Like, he's done really well making them nice and secure and everything. So now you have spikes on your shield.
Sweet. I'm gonna try to kill someone with it later.
Hopefully not in the city, but that's fine. All right. So,
Does anyone else off?
all right. So the evening comes, and Froome kind of is really getting into his drinking now. He's starting to order some of the harder stuff.
Boy.
And he looks at you and he kind of raises a few of the glass shots.
Think you're ready for this?
I'm very ready if you are.
Of course I'm ready.
Perfect.
Line them up.
Okay.
Gertrude. Was that her name?
Yep.
Yeah. Line them up, Gertrude.
Line 'em or line 'em?
Line them.
Line 'em. Okay.
Line up a bunch of shots.
She like
Yeah.
pulls out a match. She's, all right.
Also,
all
light
right.
them on fire.
That would be awesome, but I don't want to drink fire. It would go in my beard, and then that would be awful.
Smart move. So go ahead and roll me. It'll be a Constitution save.
Okay. 13.
Okay, you
Any pluses to your con?
Yeah, that was plus 2.
Oh, okay.
So you last quite a while, a couple hours with him, but at one point you find him shaking your shoulder, and you kind of pop up, and he goes, "It's all right, man. You did good."
I will still go against you.
Usually when you pass out, you're kind of done.
I
But
was just taking a breather, man.
look.
I might have to barf though.
You're fine. There's a bucket out there, or a helmet, or something. I don't know. Anybody got a helmet? And
It's a hurl helmet for my hurl.
one of the squires does bring a helmet over in.
And I just barf it.
Yeah.
Pass out.
And then Froome hands it back to the squire by putting it back on his head. And that's how the first night goes. The rest of you have a nice evening, probably a little bit more social drinking. At one point, the flautist bard calls you up, and you kind of do a nice duet. Just one of the classic songs, not anything fancy or anything like that. Yeah.
Do you by chance know the Heroes of Greatness?
I'm afraid I haven't heard that one.
I will teach it to you sometime, my friend. I will teach it to you.
Good job on your song, bro. Doing good, buddy.
It'd be like a Sonny and Cher song.
Oh yeah.
Got you, baby. He's got his flute.
And he sings his parts with his flute. But the night passes. You guys wake up the next morning. Akio's got a hangover. Looks as chipper as ever. Paladin Constitution. What can you do, right? And he's actually he's outside when you guys kind of are mulling about, and he goes, "Yo, big guy!" And he looks over at Thornock.
Yeah.
I need you to come hold this horse for me, please.
You want me to hold a what?
And he lifts the reins for this war horse that he's standing next to. Would you hold the reins?
Hold the
So he hands you the reins for the horse, and he pats you on the back, and he goes, "Thanks, appreciate it." And he goes walking off into the stables. And you're kind of sitting there for a few minutes, and the horse starts getting a little restless, starts tugging a little bit. And then a cat races by and just kind of like jumps out from nowhere, and the horse goes ballistic. So I need you to roll me an athletics check.
It spooked the horse.
21.
A 21. Let's see. Okay. So how do you calm the horse down or tame the horse and keep it calm?
I pick up the horse.
You literally pick up the horse. I don't think you actually have that. Like a horse weighs a little bit more than that.
Am I nearby?
Yeah, you guys are all kind of milling about.
Got a decent animal handling.
So I just bear hug around its neck then.
Okay. So Froome comes out, and you've got your arm around its neck, and the horse is just kind of sitting there, kind of like struggling a little bit. And Ari comes over, and she's just like, "It's okay." So go ahead and roll your check as well.
I just got
A natural 20. Plus 3, so 23. See, I only get good rolls out of combat. Out of combat, I'm awesome.
So you just kind of flick its nose, and it just like calms down instantly.
No.
Yeah.
I tell Froome, I'm like, sorry about this guy.
Sit.
He's an idiot.
It's all right. That horse is really skittish. You did good there, Thornock, right?
Yeah. That's
right.
because I'm amazing.
I wonder just how amazing you are.
So amazing, obviously.
How about we find out? There's a little training ring just around the corner. No weapons, just friendly wrestling.
Let's do it, man.
Wonderful. And he takes the reins and he hands them to Brahm. Just like randomly hands them to Brahm, and then he just starts walking off.
I'm not sure about this, but
Brom, do you want to ride him? I'll put you on him.
One of the squires comes by and takes the reins from you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
The blood is beginning to drain from my hand.
I follow.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else wants to.
Yeah, I want to see this.
I'll follow.
I'm in.
Thornok needs a good
I'm
butt kicking.
gonna be scrabbling on a piece of paper over to him.
So he takes you to just like this dirt sparring ring, and you can see he stretches out a little bit, cracks his neck left, right, and then he turns around and he gets into a nice like grappling stance. Whenever you're ready.
I go into a rage.
Oh boy.
This is going to be a strength contest against him.
Okay.
Playing this. So roll when you're ready.
No, 23.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a natural 19 and then a +4.
All right. So you guys get into a good bout. He's actually pretty tough. Like every time you try and get him into a lock, he breaks lock and manages to get you into one, and it goes back and forth like that for a while. And at the end of it, you just seem to take a breather, and he just kind of claps his hands together and he says, "Well done. That was perfect."
I clasp him on the shoulder. Thanks for welcoming me as my tribe does.
Oh, are you from the seas?
I am.
Yeah. Never been out that way, but I hear good things sometimes.
It's okay. You could lie. Wait.
No, I can't. Yeah, I'm a paladin of Torm. I pretty much can't lie.
Huh. Good to know.
I kind of just look at him.
Yeah. And he just claps you on the shoulder and he says, "Come on, I'll buy you a beer."
Sounds good.
This guy really likes to drink.
Yes, he does. There's some perks to being a paladin for sure. So that night passes as well. You can go ahead and do another day's worth of your research or your ring. Yep, ring investigation. It literally is just a whistle ring. All right.
Yeah, blowing it long enough so it has so many rotations. And that's why it's Constitution.
Yep.
Woohoo! I'm 1/5 of the way there.
Nice. And then the next morning, you all kind of wake up again with a hangover or not. It's up to you, depending on how much any of you drink. Yeah. And you come downstairs, and Nessim's actually sitting at the bar, and he looks over and he goes, "Good morning. They want to speak with you when you're ready."
Let's go. In we go.
You don't want breakfast first or anything? It's just...
I do. I want breakfast.
Thornox sits down to eat breakfast.
I just look at him and I say, Nessim, monks,
Okay.
aesthetics.
All right, sure.
I'm fasting, like always.
How long have you been fasting?
80 pounds
Since
worth.
dinner.
It's a long fast. That's tough. That's tough. I feel your pain. It's been about 3 hours for me. So Thornock starts eating. Everybody else kind of filters into the room.
I grab a piece of toast.
Yeah. Thornock eats quickly enough that by the time everybody's settled into the room, he is also in the room.
Yeah. Just put in a
And they sit down, and Froome is sitting there, and he's just kind of got his arms folded, and Leosin's sitting there, and he's kind of dressed in a little bit more finery today. It's not so much his just kind of the clothes that you've seen him in, where it's just been like whatever he can get travel clothes wise. It looks like being here a few days has been good for him too. And he's actually got a pendant on his neck, and the pendant is a symbol that is a silver harp in a crescent moon. And he looks around and he goes, "Thanks everybody for coming. Froome has had a chance to kind of measure you all, and Froome, why don't you tell him?" And he's like, "Well, I think you're good people. So I feel okay letting you know that Leosin's and his friends and me and my order are looking into the Cult of the Dragon, and we think we may have found their next step, and we're kind of looking to get some people that are trustworthy to travel on to this next step.
Look no further, my dear man.
Wonderful.
The Order of the Broken Spear is yours to command.
Right. I heard that's what you're called now.
Yes.
So, the thing is, we figured out that they're heading along the Sword Coast. They're taking this load of treasure, and they're taking it by wagon up through. Let's find out where this is going. They're shipping it north.
I know the terrain north.
Mm-hmm.
My home.
So let's see. I believe they're heading to. Yeah, they're heading up past Waterdeep, actually. I'm just trying to find the exact information here. Do you think I'd be?
How did you discover this?
And he points at the pile of scrolls and everything, and he goes, "I am so glad that you brought the poetry with you, because it's actually a cipher that helps determine their path." Yeah. So they're going to be heading north from Baldur's Gate up to Waterdeep, and
Baldur's Gate.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like they're just going to try and travel as normal merchants. So we need to get people into that caravan to keep an eye on them and find out anything they can.
I grew up in Baldur's Gate, and the monastery that I spent the most of my life is
Really?
just outside of town. Monastery of the Way of Belief.
All right. Well, that should make a little bit easier to travel around. Basically, what we want you to do is to get in to Baldur's Gate, find the caravan they're going to be leaving with, and join up. Just kind of be along with it. Chances are they won't be a caravan strictly of cultists. It's probably going to be a mixture of a bunch of different merchants. You guys could probably get hired on as guards, no problem. I mean, look at you all. And you should be able to get and kind of keep an eye on them and find out where they're going.
From Baldur's Gate, sorry, I'm just writing this down. To where? To north of...
So it would be... Let's see, so it would be... Baldur's Gate, I think they're going towards Waterdeep, yep.
Okay. And do you have any contacts? Who would we look to get hired on?
So there's a gentleman, Froome, and Froome kind of leans forward and he goes, "Yeah, there's a gentleman named Akin Celeborn, and that's Ackyn. He operates the equipage business outside of the outer city, along the north wall, where we believe that they'll be setting up to travel, and he should be able to let you know if anything happens and help you find people to hire you on."
How do you spell his last name?
His last name is Selebon. Celebon.
Celebon?
Yep.
He's an agent of yours.
He's not so much an agent as just a contact. He doesn't belong to either of our organizations.
How much does he know about the cult?
He knows to be on the lookout for anybody suspicious.
Was he a sellsword?
No, he just runs the business. I don't know if you know too much about Baldur's Gate, but there's no wagons allowed on the inside. No wagons, no horses. Everything's done on foot. So people sell off their wagons in the south and usually buy more wagons in the north, or they just try and go from Baldur's Gate down back south. So if anything, if they're traveling north and they want to travel north, that means that they're going to have to go through the northern equipment area, and so that means that he's the best man for the job.
Would he perchance have any information for us about their practices, perhaps when their rear guard should not come for breakfast?
I mean, like I said, he probably doesn't know too much about the cultists in general, but you're not going to get a full cultist raiding party like this is. Chances are, when those cultists split they spread out.
Absolutely. I just know in my line of business that knowledge is power, and the more knowledge we can be armed with, the more power we can yield over them.
Understandable.
I say, will anyone be accompanying us, or is it?
I believe you five, we have business elsewhere. We've got to kind of consolidate our forces and everything for any eventual push against the cult. So we're just kind of sending our best people.
Expendable people. Shirts.
I say, and I say, what is it that you'll be doing while we're gone?
Well, my agency is going to be working to gather as much information as we can.
This is Leosin.
This is Leosin, yes. And Froome is going to be gathering as many allies as he can. Basically, we're trying to get a formidable force put together just in case the cult decides to push something. They've never done anything like this before, so we're a little bit blind on exactly where they're holding up and what they're after.
I say, I look at him and just give him a smile and say, you seem to have left behind the ascetic way of a monk since we saw you last. I say, what's the insignia that you wear on your shoulder?
Well, I belong to an organization known as the Harpers.
The Harpers?
Yes. We're kind of a network of like-minded people who kind of share resources, and they really don't fit the monk aesthetic, really.
Do you know the bard that was playing? I did notice that he had the same pendant.
Yeah, he's one of ours.
Is this a secret organization, or do you operate freely?
I mean, people know about us. People don't really know what we do. It's just kind of...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
In fact, I wanted to extend an invitation to all of you as well. If any of you were interested in joining the Harpers, it could bring a little bit of clout to any of your ways. Also, Froome wanted to see if you were interested in his band as well. Yeah, for those of you who are more athletically inclined, and he points to Thornock and he kind of nods at Lunaire a little bit. I run an organization of like-minded paladins, clerics, and general do-gooders known as the Order of the Gauntlet. And we're basically the fighting force behind the Harpers' back dealings, and they kind of give Froome and Leosin kind of give each other a sly smile, like they've done this ribbing before against each other. So
I say, what is it exactly that the Order of the Harpers does? What is your purpose? What's your mission statement?
What's the mission statement? Oh, great! Here we go.
Oh boy.
What's your elevator pitch?
So the Harpers are dedicated to furthering equality, justice, and to keeping power out of the hands of those who don't deserve it. And we do this through various means of influences, from storytelling to actual political intrigue.
I won't speak for everyone, but I would be interested to hear more once we come back, and I've been able to mull it over a bit.
Sure. I'd be more than happy to talk with you whenever you needed to.
Order of the Broken Spear is good enough for me.
It's good to open some doors for us.
I don't do well in orders or brotherhoods or things of, with
Cults,
leaders
basically.
and stuff.
Let's face it.
So I've heard from, and he kind of gives you an eye like, I did a little research on you.
Hey, we are beer brothers and we drink well.
You're lucky that you drink well.
I know. It's both my saving grace and my downfall.
A gift and a curse. So anyway,
Does anyone want to join the Order of the Gauntlet or the Order of the...
you all get a guild invite to both guilds, and if any of you wants to accept it, you can.
Decline invitation.
Yeah, you get a whisper that says like,
I'm going
hey,
to block
do
all-
you like justice?
And then just go to the settings and block all the
What's the pay?
The pay is the satisfaction of knowing that people are safe and sound and free from evil.
What about just an honorary member?
Hard
and a
pass.
little patch.
I'm afraid you can't just get an honorary
Say, is there
patch.
any sort
Okay.
of initiation into the?
Do you have to drink the blood of a demon?
Hazing involved.
The Order of the Gauntlet, is,
Wait a
it
minute.
doesn't really have any sort of initiation. We just, I mean, I trust you enough and everything. I can't speak for what the Harpers will put you through. I mean,
Do I know what the
who knows what they're up to?
Do I know what the general public thinks of these? Would it give us favor or would it hurt us?
The Harpers are generally a secretive organization. They're not secretive enough that nobody like knows about them, but it's just kind of one of those things. Like a lot of what they do is shrouded in mystery. Most people think of the Harpers as like a band of bards, right? They think that when somebody wears the silver harp, it means that they're a player of some sort. And then the Order of the Gauntlet, you've never heard of them before, so you're not really sure what kind of clout they have.
Cancellation.
What I was going to ask is what are the responsibilities that are involved in such a commitment?
I mean, every now and then a Harper may come up to you and ask you for some help with some political thing he's working on, delivering a message, that sort of thing. It's one of these things where we all just kind of help each other. There's no like you have to work 30 days out of the year or anything like that.
So essentially, this is a structured gossip environment.
Yes.
You have my vote.
Do we have
Sign
you
me
as
up
a
immediately.
member? All right. And he actually pulls out a pair of silver harp with the crescent moon, and he sets it down.
You just hand those out randomly.
Like I said, I trust you guys. You guys have done plenty for me. You saved my life, after all.
This will
I
go
say-
gloriously with my component.
I share.
If you want, 5 gold will get you the gold leaf harp.
My friend, I've spent a little too much time.
It has little flashing lights.
Yep.
You can upgrade to the light.
I
box.
say, I think I speak for the rest of us when I say that while we share your values, we prefer to remain unaffiliated for now, but we appreciate the offer.
Understandable. It's there if you want it. Reese, were you going to say something else?
I actually had a question about guilds because I haven't used them before.
Okay.
What do I do with the guild?
Basically, it just gives you clout. If you need help in a specific city, if there's a presence there, you might be able to find like shelter or something like that. It's not too much like they're absolutely like the end all be all and they give you like +1 to anything or anything like that. It's just something that it's more story wise in case you need it.
Unless you play World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
and there could be.
And then you get like 15 minutes on your Hearthstone, and when you die and you have to run back to your body, you're 20% faster, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm familiar with WoW guilds.
Yeah.
Just
See?
Anybody want to join the gauntlet? It might come in handy later. I was not offered.
I don't know that I'm
Snubbed.
brawny enough.
Everyone was offered.
Oh, I thought he just
No.
was nodding to.
No, I mean, he nodded to the athletically inclined ones, but he's just kind of like, you seem like a very decent guy. You protected innocent hostages. Girl. You elves.
So hard to tell with you. They all look the same to me.
they seem a little fuddy-duddy for me.
Yeah.
I say.
Like they're not quite rowdy enough.
Yeah.
I say. I just look at. Oh gosh, dang it. Anthar. Froom. And I say. Not all fighters wear armor and bulging muscles. I'll wear your gauntlet.
All right. And he nods to one of the squires, and the squire leaves, and he comes back with it. It's more like a tabard for this. It's just got the gauntlet on it, and it is a the universal symbol is a gauntlet grasping a sword by the blade. And he kind of leans back and he parts his beard, and he's got a pendant with that symbol on it, and he goes, "Welcome aboard."
I say. I just bow.
If you ever start a bearded guild, I will join.
What would the symbol be? Would it just be
Just a
another
beard.
beard? Yeah.
Just a big, awesome braided beard.
All right.
A great bushy beard.
So, adding this to organizations. It was the Way of the Gauntlet?
The Order of the
Order
Gauntlet.
of the Gauntlet. Currently.
So if I join, I don't get anything special. I just get help once in a while.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, what are you looking for? Like a membership with like benefits?
5% off
dental?
on tavern. It's like a loyalty card.
Well, would I have
5%
access to
off
better
like
weapons?
churches? No. Like, well, I mean, I'm gonna outfit you guys with whatever you think you need. You know, make sure that you look at least a little bit different in case any of the cultists might recognize you. I heard you had some trouble in the camp. Any sort of new outfits that you need, we'd be more than happy to provide you, weapons, that sort of thing. And then we're going to send you on your way. But I mean, that's outside of the order. The order is basically the idea that you're going to be dedicating your life to fighting evil.
That's a tall order.
Sometimes you are evil.
Did you growl at him?
I asked him if I can have a pendant instead of a tablet.
Right? Yeah, sure. And he
Okay, good.
looks at the squire and looks at the squire like, "What are you doing giving this monk a tabard? What the heck's wrong with you?" And he comes back with just like a brass pendant.
He flips it to you like a coin.
Yeah.
I'll wear it.
Yeah.
I know I just joined this guild, but can I have a pendant instead of a tabard?
Okay. I've got a nice G book.
He's just like,
here, and
get out.
I'm gonna take my Harper symbol and put it in a pouch.
Okay. You're not gonna wear it openly?
I'm not gonna wear it openly. Especially if I don't want to forget to take it off when we go into the camp. Be like, hey guys, how's it going? I'm wearing my purple robe. What's that?
Organization after all. Okay.
All right. So,
I say, I think we're ready to leave.
wonderful.
immediately.
So, just outside of Elturiel is the river Conathar? Coimthar. Chianthar, whatever, I don't know. The river outside the city. You should be able to travel down that in 3 days with a chartered boat that I've already got ready for you. Well, that's 3 days if you want to tie up overnight, 2 days if you want to push it. And I've also, and he snaps his fingers and the squire comes in and hands you each a small pouch. And he says, I've also got 50 gold each for you for any sort of travel expenses and everything. And again, feel free to let me know if you need any sort of armor or anything. I'd be happy to try and provide what I can for you.
Say, you wouldn't happen to have any spare potions, perhaps, that we might be able to use to help keep
I'm
ourselves
afraid
alive?
my stocks are limited to the mundane.
How about rations?
Yes, of course. Yeah, and take as many as you need.
Stock up until I'm back up to 10.
Okay. So everybody can fill up on rations without worrying about spending any gold.
Yeah, I want to do that. Can I ask about a new greatsword or a great axe?
Yeah, so they'll be able to get you like a nice fresh one. It won't be any like it's going to be the same thing, but it's just going to look a lot nicer. Whichever one you want, they got both.
Would the great axe give me a better damage?
12 versus 2d6, I think. So,
6s.
I think technically the great sword would be better because it would give you a lower floor, or a higher floor, if that makes sense. You'll at least roll 2 as opposed to 1, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's there?
I'm curious to know if the Harpers would have access to Tinker's kits.
Tinker's kits. Interesting. Roll me a d20, and we'll see if they have any. 6. They could probably get you like a 5% discount. Like somebody's like, yeah, I know I have a cousin who's a merchant in town that sells Tinker's kits, but he's kind of a stickler, so.
Well, give me his name and I'll tend to him.
Okay. So that is a Tinker's kit is normally 50 gold pieces. So
50.
and that's 10 pounds, by the way.
45.
Yeah.
That's so fine. I found out. I thought I was at 75 pounds was my thing, but it's actually 168.
Oh, nice.
So I'm at 72. So we're good. Yay. So I'm gonna buy that Tinker's kit while we're in.
Okay. Yeah. So they can definitely outfit with you with whatever mundane weapons you're looking for, Thornock.
And yeah, great sword is 2d6.
And great axe is 1d6 or 1d10 or 12. 1d12.
So
I'll take a great sword because I think it's probably gonna be better.
They get you a nice one. It's fancy human style. You know, not too special, but not too poor quality, I guess would be the word.
Cool.
So, you guys can head out to the river now. You're all geared up. If anybody needed a change of clothes, you have a change of clothes now to make you look at least a little different so the cultists can't recognize you. You know. And as you guys are walking out, Leosin goes, "Oh, did you want your horses out of the stable?"
Oh, of course.
I get a horse.
Well, I mean, the horses that you came in on.
Yeah, we were.
You and the horse that you rode in on.
We were supplied
Yes,
with
indeed. I would.
Or
my
should we
my
sell
very,
them? What does a good horse go for these days?
Well, I
That'd be
mean,
pretty
I have to
valuable.
walk twice as fast as all of you. I will take my horse.
I'm not sure how well they'll do on the water, but if you need to take them, you can. They might be helpful for you on that long trip.
We'll get you one of those.
You're looking about 750 miles from Baldur's Gate to Waterdeep.
Let's take the horses
Right.
first.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah, horses.
A horse for riding is 75 gold is how much you buy one for.
How many days rations would a horse provide
It's cheap.
in a pinch? Friend.
It'd probably be about 6 at the most just because it spoils.
Right.
Yep.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Can't wait to eat that monkey.
Can't wait to eat that
Yeah, we'll
horse.
keep the horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Horses are cheap.
Armor costs more than a horse.
We've got to just buy up all the horses we find in corner of the market.
And then jack up the prices.
Killing on these things.
Should be a
And
good
then instead of
D&D
fighting, we
campaign.
Just make a stampede. We'll just run through.
Take this, Cult of the Dragon.
So-
Take 1 million horses.
So we're all buying horses.
Run
No, we
through.
already have horses.
One.
Yeah, you already had horses. Leosin gave you, or had horses prepped for you in Greenest, and you guys rode those for 6 days. So you can add a horse to your inventory if you want to keep it with you.
Yay.
Where am I going
The
to
draft-
stick this thing?
But you got to care for it. You got to feed it. You
Riding
know,
horse or draft horse?
it's a riding horse.
Did it come with like all the thick ones?
Yes,
Does a horse?
a horse with all the
It
fixins,
came with,
mashed potatoes and gravy.
Hey man.
yes, it came with a saddle.
Came with horsey sauce.
Came with a full horse tail.
Ooh, I want to get.
That was a bad joke.
Thank you, Reese. I'm glad at least you heard it. I said, because I was talking about what all the fixins that it came with, I said it comes with horsey sauce as well.
Now I want Arby's.
Me too. Sounds really
Did
good.
you say you're gonna fashion some horseshoes of speed?
I said it'd be awesome to have horseshoes of speed.
There's really such a thing.
I know. I saw it in here and it looked awesome.
Riding horse.
I'm gonna name mine Shadowfax.
Any particular reason why, or is it just like it sounds like a cool name? I mean, obviously.
I'm gonna
I'm
name.
gonna teach him when I whistle, he'll run from long
I'm gonna
distances.
name mine after our good friend back in Greenest, Kentucky.
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 Carl.
You're so great.
No, I will dub my steed Carl.
Carl.
Trusty Carl. Alright.
Okay, so you guys head down the river, or well, we head to the river. There is a barge waiting for you there. It's just kind of one of these, like,
I'm actually going to name my horse Garrett.
Sorry, that's
Garrett.
my brother's name.
okay, Garrett the horse. Everybody's got like really like normal names for their horses so far. Ken, Garrett, Carl,
Yeah, I'm not naming mine.
I'm putting it in my notes.
Thornock.
Once
You naming your horse?
Then you will get attached to it.
I'm gonna call them shoes.
Not again!
Shoes?
Don't leave me!
Shoes.
Like wait, sorry,
Shoes.
like shoes, like horseshoes.
No, just shoes. Shoes the horse.
Okay, shoes the horse.
Shoes.
I guess.
He's gonna get boots of haste and literally just like right on the horse. A tune.
All right, so the guy at the barge takes a look and he's just like, "Oh, I didn't know you guys were bringing horses." All right, give me a minute. And he goes inside and he kind of you hear like a bunch of rummaging and everything, and it's about 20 minutes, and then the doors open up and he opens up both doors and he's like, "Just put them on the left."
Try.
Get out.
I wait to see which side is the left.
Ari definitely takes her horse and leads it to the left for you first. So everybody gets their
I succeeded in my insight check.
yeah. So you guys get underway. Basically, it's this. How do they even describe the barge? I would just assume it's
Giant boat. I don't know.
Sounds like an evil horse.
Just wait till they're sleeping. We'll eat them.
yeah. It's kind of just your basic boat. It's got it's probably magically propelled actually, just because it's one of the ferries and everything. So it's got a little bit of magic to make it lighter, and then it's got a few people that are just pushing with the sticks down the river kind of thing, like a raft.
I take a seat on the bow and pull out my flute and play a little floating down the river tune.
I pull out my ring and try and do another.
Okay, so you'll be able to get 2 days in so far.
Okay.
I'll join them in this diddle. Oh, let's remember, or lest we forget.
That sounded really inappropriate.
Yep.
I don't want you joining me in my diddles.
Not that kind of diddle. Yeah, a little bit.
I got a 20 and a 1.
20 and a 1.
Well, hey.
Okay,
so it wasn't a 1 and a 2.
25, 26.
The second day, you drop the ring in the water and have to quickly fish it out. And for the first time, you wish you got Mage Hand.
He jumps all the way. No.
Not the last.
Not the last. Nope. So it's about.
On your mage hand?
It'll disappear, but I guess you could.
It just falls to the ground. So it's about the second day. Akio's just finishing up with his puzzle for the day. It's very frustrating for him. And
Nice roleplay.
and the boat kind of slows down as you're approaching this this bridge, and it looks like the bridge has been blocked off by a rather large boulder. And standing atop the bridge are 2 large creatures. They're very thick-skinned. They've got massive bodies. They're very ugly, and they've got their arms crossed. And
Bridges mean trolls.
they're actually pale, so they wouldn't necessarily mean trolls. Usually
Pale
trolls are
orcs.
green. And one of them goes, 50 gold.
So
Hail there, my friend.
we're on the same side, you idiot. We're traveling for the thing that you're doing.
And he looks at the other one,
Maybe we should let Bart.
and the other one goes, don't call Grug idiot.
Oh, Grug is not idiot.
75 gold.
What's your name? Glig? Glig and Glug? You guys suck.
Grug, my friend. Are you the illustrious Grug I've heard so much about?
You've heard Grug's
I
name?
have. There have been tales far and wide of your prowess.
Roll me a deception check.
Why didn't I get a deception?
Because you were literally just yelling at them.
You were picking a fight. I deceived them.
That's a
Ooh,
17
that is a good
plus persuasion or deception?
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Or deception. Deception.
24.
Yeah. I mean, slap it. Glib, they heard Grug.
It was Glig. I knew it.
Far and wide, I've heard the tales of your prowess in taking care of these bridges and the toll that you exact, and I've also heard that you can be quite charitable at times to those who also share your values in making sure that the local populace remember who is in charge.
Too many big words, man. Too many big words.
Little man speak good?
I'm your.
And he looks at Glib and Glib kind of shrugs like,
You, it has been an exquisite pleasure to meet you in person and to see you at doing such great work.
Yes. 60 gold.
I have something very, very interesting. Should you like to come along with us, we can show you some more fun places. Do you like to smash things?
What? I mean, and he points over at a tree that's broken down and everything. Grug, do that.
Grug, Glenn, what was your friend's name? I apologize. Glib?
He kind of hangs his head like looks like sheepishly at Akio. Glib.
I'm sorry, Glib. But we have many things to smash, and we would love some extra hands along. Should you like to join us on our endeavor? There's far more gold.
A vial of acid, and I say, "Do you know what this is?"
Accio.
They shake their heads in unison.
Catch.
Accio.
And Glib reaches his hand out and catches it. Of course, it's a tiny thing of acid. So go ahead and roll me damage for this vial of acid. And -1 vial of acid.
Yeah, okay. Because they're pissing me off.
And in the meantime, I'm going to be drawing something.
Dang it. Sorry.
We're gonna call you Thornock Jr.
It sounds like a good idea.
Junior Dunk.
Akio Thornock, go.
I was going to try and creep up on the bridge and get myself in position just in case, but
I'm sorry. They're just
Too late for
not. That whole thing when they got us down to 60 gold, like, no, man. They're gonna die. What's the damage
Would have
on
let
the
Ron
acid
talk
vial?
more. He could have probably got it down to 40 gold.
He's
Accio.
also
Sometimes
trying
you just
to.
want to fight.
Should I just do a 1d6
We haven't done
of
anything yet
acid?
tonight.
No, acid vial is.
I
There's a
understand,
specific
but
thing.
you gotta think logically because they're just doing their jobs if you think about it.
2d6.
According to who?
2d6 acid damage.
This whole troll toll is a bracket.
4,
They are trolls.
Three,
then.
seven.
They're preying on the weak and innocent. I don't know, ogres, giants, whatever.
7
It's
acid
not their
damage.
bridge. They didn't build the bridge.
7 acid damage. So it cracks in his hand and he goes, "Oh, that's it!" And he grabs a giant boulder and he's gonna start flinging it at you. And we're gonna roll initiative for this.
Sorry,
He
everybody.
hits the boat and I'll
So
sink.
there's
20.
I really wish I had great
I rolled above a 10.
Like I said, I'm really good at initiative rolls.
All right.
okay, and then
So now we're on the water and they're
They have the
yes,
hydrant.
yeah. So here is the.
Oh no, Accio, never take yourself.
Alter self, gills, let's go.
That's true.
I might.
You gonna go all water world on us?
Yeah, and then I could jump.
He's just gonna
out.
swim away. See ya! See you in Baldur's Gate, suckers! Are these are not trolls then?
No.
Who knows? Somebody can.
Somebody can roll me a lore check really quick. It would be nature.
One, I have no idea.
They're very big halflings.
Nature?
Seriously.
Is it a nature?
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Yeah, it would be nature.
Oh, you got
These
I got a 17.
Okay, so these are ogres. Everybody but Brahm knows that these are ogres.
Have you guys seen these before?
These guys look crazy. I swear they're at least dire halflings.
Pretty big. His mother must have fed him really well.
I didn't necessarily roll, but okay, I'm glad I know.
That's okay.
But
With this also. It's
yeah.
Hey, look, a 17.
I'm just over there, like, I'm still talking. I don't even care what they are. You know, there was this bridge up the
It was
road.
like singing a song
could probably-
about Glib.
We would really like to pass.
Boulders flying at him.
You could probably raise your prices by at least 10 gold if you go up the river.
No choke point upriver.
Interesting. You said you could point. That's Thornock. You choked them.
Okay.
Hey, you have this Sharpie. Oh wait, what erase? Never mind.
Oh, I have a Sharpie. Surprisingly.
Preston has a Sharpie.
Oh, nice. Because we gotta darken that map a little bit, and this is dry. Okay. So what'd you get for initiative, Lunera?
I got a 17.
17. Brahm, I think.
I got a. Oh, I rerolled it. Hold on.
You said, hey, I finally got a
It
bunch
was
of
about a 10. It was a 13 plus 3, 16.
16. Ari.
20.
20. Akio.
18.
And
Ladies and gentlemen,
and Thornock.
get ready for
17.
I specifically said I was on the bow of the boat playing my whistle, my flute.
Sorry, Thornock, what was that?
Playing your whistle.
17.
And the bard tried to diddle me.
Right.
Would you like to file a complaint?
You know, there seems like there's been a lot of diddling around lately.
Would you like me?
I got
The
it.
diddle, there's a fiddle in the middle.
I got it. I'm not really too concerned with it. Oh no, I moved an
The
ogre.
only reason I threw the acid is From had gotten under my skin because he's like, you have to be the good guys and protect against people and blah blah blah. So it was
These
like,
guys are preying on the weak.
yeah, it was feeling like good.
The underprivileged.
Maybe if we had mentioned, I don't know, the Guild of the Order of the Silver Gauntlet
Nah,
thingy
I'm
Robert
gonna
holding the
say broken
sword.
spirit, bitch. And
I was gonna have him go and just like pummel the cultists, just like running and just like
we can still make them our friends after we beat them into
How?
submission. That's how big people think. You hurt them, and then they're your friends.
you gotta have the
Burned
bigger stick.
Liv's hand
Yep.
with acid.
Yeah, and he
He's
will
not
never.
gonna be. He's not
He
gonna
will
be
never
your
try and
friend.
hit me with that hand again.
I know. He's not gonna. He's gonna. Yeah.
Bad ogre, sit, stand.
Exactly.
You would listen.
My animal handling is a -1. I know what I'm doing.
I think Thornock can wrestle him into submission.
All right, so
Rhaenyra and everybody.
first up is actually Ari.
Toddy.
All right, Ari.
So, let's see here.
You're gonna jump from the bow of the boat.
What's this?
That is the boulder.
Ah, it's like coming towards us.
Yep.
That's a big.
Well, so it's not coming. No, sorry. This is the boulder in the water
Oh.
that
It's
is
blocking us
blocking.
from
Yep.
going.
Perfect.
About this point, the Wonder Woman
I can-
soundtrack.
I can jump that, right?
You're gonna roll me an athletics check.
Acrobatics?
Yep.
As he's sitting.
Or no, well, jumping is athletics specifically.
Do.
Okay.
If you're balancing, it's
This
acrobatics.
is Ari's
Or
theme song.
how
Yeah.
can't you like innately
Oh,
jump
it's
a
not
certain
mine.
amount of distance?
It's all the above.
It's all the
on your
above.
strength or
All
something
the
like that?
above.
Well, let me ask this: how high? Like how much higher? Like what I'm wondering.
It's about the same level.
Okay. So I'm just thinking like I want to try and jump on the boulder and then up onto the bridge.
Just go ahead and roll me an athletics check, and we'll see how you do.
13.
13. So yeah, so you'll be able to get from the bow of the ship to the boulder, and then you'll be able to climb up your way to the top of the.
Viking song.
So if I've got
Here you go. We're starting combat.
oh sorry 5, 10, 15,
Rhaenyra and
20, 25, 30.
Ari, you're
Okay.
gonna go.
This is Glib, by the way.
Glib.
Yep.
Glib and what was the other one?
Grug.
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 Grug is like a super common name for like monstrous humanoids. It's like Carl for monstrous humanoids, or like John, right?
Why don't I actually put myself? Sorry.
Oh, and then you said you did 9 damage, right?
Yeah.
I'll put myself here.
Glib. Glib's
You
hand.
just do a backflip.
Okay. So Glib has this boulder in his hand, and you go dashing across the boat, jump over up onto the boulder, up onto the bridge, and slide around him, and
Attack.
That would be so cool.
No key points this time. I got a 15.
a 15.
Uh-huh.
That will hit.
Hit them together. And then you can march.
For 11 damage.
Okay.
And then I'll just use one unarmed strike, my bonus action. No key points. And that's a 17, no 18.
Yep.
For 7 more damage.
7 more damage. All right. So you strike him in the leg, and he kind of stumbles, and he sets the rock down, and he turns around, and he just starts like looming over you. They're about how high are these guys?
They're very high.
They're about 10 feet tall.
Awesome.
Yep. And he's just
Justice League.
Justice League. Oh, this is Wonder Woman.
This is
That was
Wonder Woman.
Wednesday.
Oh, I'm not sure. I heard that they screwed up the costumes pretty bad. As far as the Amazons are concerned.
So, and then you hear, kind of from this forested area over here,
Oh, excellent.
you hear a trill cry. It sounds something like, and the water starts frothing around the boat, and a crocodile appears and jumps out of the boat. And look who is like right next to that crocodile. as it climbs its way
You
on.
want to play
You
an
don't have a
amphibian
clock. You don't have
thing?
a clock on you.
That's a raptor. Guys, that's a river raptor.
River wolf.
River wolf.
Okay. And it is going to make an attack against Akio.
Of course.
You just get the tastiest.
He looks like closest, is what you
It's
look.
poisoned as soon as it bites in your bloodstream.
That's true.
We don't have visibility on whatever made that noise.
Not yet.
Okay. It's in the bushes.
It's in the
Seems
bushes.
to have been a higher power.
It's in the bushes.
Let's try and focus on the lid.
So it's 21
Go
to
off
hit.
tank.
Yeah, that is.
So it's going to do.
What's his bucket?
It's going to do, wow, 12 damage.
Ouch.
And you are grappled.
Oh.
So it basically chomps onto your leg and just latches onto you.
Oh, shoot. Is ungrappling an entire action? Or is it like a bonus?
It
thing?
is you have to do an acrobatics or an athletics check to try and break free. And it's got a specific DC for it.
Okay.
Can you like cast a touch spell? You know
I
what
don't think
mean?
I don't think I have any touch spells.
Well, but you could do like a magic missile that can't miss or something, right? Because you don't suffer any.
And then, yes, this one does look like a river wolf, but another croc comes up out from behind Thornock and will try and grab him.
That's the hairiest alligator I've ever seen.
That is absolutely.
It's so funny how I die. Like, acid! Ah, crocodiles!
That's a 20 to hit, Thornock.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's going to be a 9 piercing damage, and you're grappled.
Okay.
And then it is Akio's turn.
Let's see. I want to. Let's see. I want to cast Scorching Ray on the thing right in front of me.
Okay. Are there rules for spells in melee range? I can't remember.
No.
I think you might have disadvantage. In which case, I would say do something that you know what I mean.
Well, my
Like
acrobatics and
which is
athletic checks are
automatic.
pretty lame.
Let's look at grapple really quick here.
I thought it was something to do with disadvantage. Because that's how it is with
Yeah, let's see what
with the range. I don't know what it is for spellcasting.
Says
Or if
grapple
you just
creature's
can't stop.
speed becomes 0, and that's all.
Let me just.
I'm like, how much longer?
So it says that you're restrained. By
So
the
I
way.
can't do any.
Yeah, well, you can't move. Is basically what it is. Let me just check.
Speed of 0.
Casting spell.
Unless that thing drags you into the
Attack
water.
rolls against you have advantage. Creatures' attack rolls have disadvantage. So your attack rolls have disadvantage if you're restrained.
Yeah.
And you have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
You make a ranged attack with a weapon, a spell, or some other means. You have disadvantage on the attack roll if you are within 5 feet of a hostile creature that you can see and who isn't incapacitated.
So use magic missile, which automatically hits.
Yeah, let's do magic missile.
Okay. Are you just doing that
I'm
as
gonna
a
cast it at level 2.
level 2? So you get 4 bolts.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put all 4 bolts on the thing in front of me.
Okay, so the croc has bit into your leg, and you just pull out your wand and you just point it directly at its head and you just go thump, 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 thump.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll damage.
1d4 plus 1. 4 times.
Perfect.
5.
Yeah. Batman animated series.
I white handed 9. 10, 11,
We're about to.
12, 13,
Wait, the
14.
Okay.
14 damage.
All right, so you hit it, and it definitely is very bruised. Like you can see that you're like digging into its scales now, but it's still holding on to you, so it still got you.
So you hear the inner conflict. You're struggling, trying to prevail, but it's uncertain.
We're gonna get copyrighted on Twitch if you guys keep playing these songs.
Bro, your music is so great.
We need more followers first.
All two of you are gonna report us.
It's only for
I'm
the
so sorry.
video on demand, I think.
I just really love Batman the Animated Series.
It's true. It's a good series. And then it is Thornock.
I want to break the grapple on this dude.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an athletics. Acrobatics, obviously, probably athletics.
21.
21 will break the grapple, so you are no longer restrained.
I think that's all I can do.
So breaking the grapple is your move
It's an
action.
action, isn't it?
I thought it was just your move action.
If it's just my move
Right to the
action,
page. That's crazy.
I want to
yeah.
try to use my spear.
No, sorry, you are right. It is an action. So you can move. You can move if you want, but you can't attack.
I'm just gonna rage.
Okay. So you grab the croc's jaws and you pull them apart enough that you can move your leg away. And to do that, you have to go into your frothing barbarian rage. And then it is Lunira's turn.
Alright, is Accio still grappled?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to, yes, I would like to knock its jaws. I would like to break its jaws.
Break
Maybe
its
even
jaws.
chop it in half.
There you go.
It is hurt.
Alright.
Okay, go ahead and roll your sword attack.
Okay, here we go, guys. Ooh,
19.
natural 19, so that's not a
That's a
bad
crit. Okay, wonderful. So go ahead and roll. You roll your damage twice.
Okay.
So and add them together.
Twice?
Yeah. So you roll your D8 or whatever, your D6.
3, 6 plus 3, 9 damage.
So 9 damage. Is it +3 still? You're not using your right thing. It's +4 now.
No, it's not. Or, excuse me, my apologies.
Yeah, that's your level 4, isn't it? You're level 4 now.
'cause-
To hit is +5, the
Yeah.
damage is +3. It looks
Yeah,
You're sure?
like, according to that.
yeah.
You put that on your regular
Yeah, I
character
did.
sheet. Okay, so
Just in case my battery died.
okay, so you come down with your sword and you manage to chop the croc's head off,
So I'm like, wait.
and
Chop its head
To hit
off.
+5.
and then it kind of just unlatches and detaches from Akio's leg, and the bulk of the body slips into the water and goes belly up,
Here at the end
but
of
the
right?
head just sits there on the deck.
Thank you, Lunera. Thank you so much.
So that's a dead croc, and then you have your other attack as well.
Can
Wait,
I
you
make
hit on the first hit?
Yeah, you still have
So-
move speed.
Is there a way that I can get
Yeah.
to the other croc?
Yep, you should be able to get over here.
Alright, guys, I'm going to definitely slash at that one.
Okay.
Kick it right
Axe
in the
attack.
crocodile.
Axe attack! 17 plus 5, 22.
22 will hit. Yep.
And then that's just one, right?
Yeah, so it's just your axe damage,
Just the axe damage.
because you have 2
Lunir
weapons
needs a new
fight.
pair of boots.
Well, that is a total of 4 damage.
4 damage?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's definitely not gonna kill it.
Still. Soften it up.
Turn them into mincemeat.
So that it looked like it was about to snap at Thornock again, and you come with the axe and kind of slash at it, and it has to gives you that crocodile. Yeah. And then it's actually Glib's turn.
We're gonna.
Oh, crap.
Stupid elf! And he brings his fist down.
How rude.
He's slow. You'll be able to dodge.
I just need one of these.
Roll
As
bad.
he's, as that was, which one is he? You fight Glib?
Glib.
Glib, as Glib's attacking, are like, okay, Glib and
Greg.
Greg is the one that you've heard so much about.
Greg was so much cooler than you are. I know more about him than I know about you. My cutting words, so minus d6, just in case,
Okay.
because I don't want you getting smashed into paste.
Welcome.
Take some of these.
5. So minus 5 to whatever he's rolling.
Alright, so that brings it to a total of 5 to hit you.
Yes, I have 17.
So you definitely jump out of the way as its fist slammed down. And then it is Brahm.
Perfect. Let me do Bardic Inspiration. Done. Alright, so Brahm is going to, seeing that Accio, my friend, is now free, looking back, nothing I can do with the big crocodile man, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue my onslaught with that dude. and I'm going to have more whispers in his ears about, he's always been better than you. He's always been taller. He's been stronger. He's been the better whatever really tall happening
That's not
you
true.
are. You're
That
not even
can't
a
be
real,
true.
not even a real big ogre.
No.
You're an overgrown hobbit.
What's his name?
Glib happy with glib life.
Grug?
And
Grug like big raging fire. Glib like small.
yes, exactly. Exactly those words. So I'm casting Dissonant Whispers at the second level. That is 4d6.
Okay.
He needs to do a Wisdom saving throw of 13, which I assume is not
Hopefully you guys some crappy wisdom.
4d6. 4, 8, 11. Yep. You're right. 14. So that is 14 damage if he does not make his Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Those were all three.
Wow. An ogre making a wisdom saving throw. This should be interesting.
Actually, no. One of them was.
He literally rolled a -1.
Perfect, and I'm like,
So 14 damage to Glib.
14 damage, and he
nice to Glib.
he takes psychic damage, and then he can't use. Let's see, must immediately use its reaction if available to move far straight away from me.
Okay.
And then if it doesn't,
Not
it won't move into
fair.
obviously dangerous ground. Yeah.
Okay. And then it is.
I figured it's a big bag of hit points, so I'm going to spend
Yeah. We got
big money, no whammies on him.
stay down.
And there is a whispering from the woods. Which is. And it comes to you. And it actually comes to you, Brahm. And you hear the whispers in your head, and they're telling you that all of your friends are out to get you.
Uh-oh.
Thornock's ready to push you in the water.
I knew it!
And so this is actually, surprise, surprise, a vicious mockery attack.
There's an evil bard in these.
Son of a bard.
Evil bard.
Do I need to roll Wisdom?
Yes. So it'll be the same thing.
Nope.
Reroll.
8 plus. Oh, my Wisdom is terrible.
It's a -1, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's a 7.
So it is. Did you say 7?
Yep, as a
Okay. So you're gonna fail, and then
Take a full
it's
1d4.
yeah. Huh. Well, take 1 psychic damage,
Oh, man. Oh.
and then disadvantage.
And disadvantage?
Mhm.
Okay, on attacks.
Yes. Well, just disadvantage on your next attack roll.
Okay. So disadvantage. Is there a way to do that in here?
We just remember.
Okay. Well, conditions. Now 1.
Yes. 1 psychic damage.
Okay.
And then I want you to roll me a perception check.
I have actually advantage on Wisdom saving.
Go ahead and try again.
I just realized.
Huh?
So Simon.
7. So you look over, like you're kind of, as you're trying to like dodge Glib's attacks and everything,
Yeah.
you kind of take a glance over, but you can't quite see anything in the forest yet.
They're just in there's like trees.
There's like trees, and in fact it looks a lot. This patch of forest looks a lot more haggard than the other patches. It's more swamp-like.
Okay.
Swamp thing.
How, I ask because I have a silence spell that I can potentially cast, but I think it's like a 15-foot radius. Like, how big is the area that they could theoretically be concealed in?
Without knowing, they could be anywhere within shouting distance.
Okay.
You know. And then it is Grug, and Grug is actually going to pull out a boulder, and he's going to throw it right here.
I'll catch it.
So I need a dexterity save from Thornock and Brahm. Oh, sorry.
Can I see him?
Yes.
Cool.
Do you need me?
Don't worry, Thornock. I'll catch the boulder.
Yeah, no, you won't. You won't need one. So dexterity save.
17.
Okay.
This is a saving throw?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a +4, 9.
So you take 8 damage,
Okay.
and then Thornock takes 4, cut in half for his rage after that too. So 2.
I got it! Yep.
All right, and then it is.
It was much bigger than I thought it was.
Look, it's a final crocodile.
That looks like a scorpion.
Scorpidile.
One of the brood.
Scorpidile.
Scorpidile.
One of the deadliest of all.
The famed Scorpidile. At last. I want to sketch him.
That is an 11 to hit, Brahm.
That is an AC of 13.
Okay. So it comes up and it snaps, and you just barely manage to like stumble back as it snaps in your face. And then we're back up at the top of the round with Ari.
No.
Okay. Keep working on glib. I'm gonna spend a key point this time.
Okay.
First attack is a 16
That will hit.
for 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay.
Assuming he's still standing.
Yep.
Next attack is 24
24 will hit.
for nice 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay, he is still up.
And final attack is a 22
That will hit.
Nice.
for 7 damage.
Okay. So you deliver punch, and then you kind of do this jump off of his hand as it kind of tries to swipe, and you just smack him in the face, and he goes tumbling into the water.
Haymaker style.
Nice.
This is a fury, man. We hear the cracking sound.
Yep.
Oh, that was gratifying.
This was ready.
Okay.
Get in there and come through the big guy.
And then Croc 1 is dead as well. So Croc 2, it's going to try and bite Lunera this time. And it gets an 8 against you.
Yeah, that's not.
Okay. So it snaps at you a little bit. And then it is Akio's turn.
I say, Grub, what's his name?
Grug.
Grug, I never want to see your ugly face in this part of town again. And I cast magic missile.
Okay.
Is the is the other crocodile
Croc here. Yep. In fact, I can replace the wolf one with the lizard if you guys want. So
Oh, I thought he died already.
No, these 2 crocs are alive. This one's dead.
I think them two can handle it. I'm still going after.
those 3 should be able to take them.
Yeah. I'm going after Grub.
Okay.
Whatever.
So you're just casting magic
level
missile.
2.
Another level 2.
All 4 darts at him.
Okay, go ahead and roll them.
Okay. 3, 4, 5. Whoa. 5, 8, 9. And final 10, 11.
3, 4, 5.
Okay.
What's that called? A glyph.
So and he stumbles a little bit, and he was rearing back for another rock, and you kind of knock it out of his hand, so he's got to turn around and pick it back up.
Nice.
Everybody gets a good look at Ogre Butt.
I want to move.
Psychic damage.
Like right there.
Blinding.
Okay.
In case I need to protect Brom.
Thornock, it's your turn.
Most likely.
Oh,
Thordog?
Thor.
Who's the closest guy to me?
The crocodile right here.
Crocodile hunter.
Crocky.
Attack.
You bit my arm.
And his beauty.
Did you hear that, Thornock?
Sorry, I was doing math. 17.
Okay, so 17 to hit will hit.
You there?
He's doing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm doing math.
You're doing barbarian math.
It's real hard.
That explains the good rolls.
Barbarian.
I used my spear.
Okay, so what was the total damage?
12.
12. Nice. Is the spear 1d6?
1d6. I rolled a 6. I have a +4 modifier.
Oh, plus
and
2
then
for the
a 2
range.
because of my range.
Okay. I was wondering, I was like,
That is the most that I can do with the spear.
without critting, of course. Alright, yep, so
Yeah.
you stab it into the croc and it starts like thrashing about, trying to snap at you. It's not quite dead yet, but you've definitely dealt a really good blow to it.
Sweet.
And then it's Lunira's turn.
See how much gold you've got in there.
So that croc is still.
Yes.
Alright.
Literally kicking at this point.
Alright, let's finish it off.
Finish him.
Sword it up, sword girl.
Attack. Might.
15 plus 5, 20.
That will hit.
Again.
The sword is working tonight.
I know.
Did you stick with the scimitar, by the way? In the when you guys went to, did you switch your sword out for something else?
I can't remember.
Well, I mean, it's up to you.
I
It's
don't think
aesthetic
so. I
at
think
this point.
I think I just stay with the
Yeah.
short
Damage
sword.
is the same.
But, so 7 damage.
7 damage. That's enough to kill it.
Huzzah!
You killed two.
You come down and you just like spin the sword down and stab into its brain.
Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile hunter.
Crocodile.
Crikey.
Go,
Crocodile
go make your axe attack on.
Yes, I shall make my way to downtown.
Here?
To the other,
Or
Right there.
yeah.
here.
Yes, right there.
Here. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Oh,
Nah.
sorry, Akio.
There's a card. Just
No. So here's what happens. I come up and nearly knock him into the water, but I quickly grab him and pull him back.
that's your bonus action. Just kidding.
Oh. Yikes, that was a terrible roll. So, 11? Sorry, guys.
You're at its AC at that.
That misses.
Oh,
Just barely.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah, literally like that much. Your axe came down like right next to its eye, and it jerks its head away.
Stupid crocodile.
And then it is. Oh, Glib is dead. Brom.
I'm gonna say so long, thanks for all the fish, and I turn myself invisible, and I'm gonna try and jump overboard towards where I heard that person that mocked me.
Okay.
That SOB's going down.
How dare they mock you?
I'll join you on that one.
Go ahead and roll me an athletics check.
Okay.
I don't think you'll be able to make it
How
actually.
deep? How deep is it?
So it's over in this area on this side.
How is the
1,
boat
2,
up against the rock where I can jump to
3.
the rock and get to the bridge?
See? Yeah, there's a crocodile in the way that way.
Can I try an athletics check to jump on the crocodile and vault to the rock?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's try.
Super Mario style.
Acrobatics?
It will be.
Yes.
No, it'd be athletics because you're still
Athletics?
jumping.
Okay.
Super,
Am I advanced just because I'm invisible?
remember,
No.
Super Mario style.
Natural 20!
Oh my god.
Natural 20!
Amazing.
I want to do like a full on.
Olympic bar.
But you're invisible, so it doesn't matter.
Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna see. I'm just gonna brandish my cape and just be like, did anybody? Never mind.
Dang it.
So you can make it onto the bridge.
Okay.
So you go leaping over, the croc's tail comes up right at the right point so you can bounce off of it. You do some really cool flips that nobody can see. And then you come down on the rock and you do like a triple not front flip but like a triple front spring where you put your whatever that is. And then you land on the bridge and you just like stick the dismount.
Jazz hands and all.
Yep. Invisible jazz hands and all.
You can message us. Tell us all.
You'll never guess what I just
His
did.
action and his bonus action.
Oh.
Yeah, that's everything. It's the only thing I have is I do have a bonus action for. Did I see? I wouldn't have seen that yet. I want you just feeling. I haven't seen that he's.
Well, but isn't your bonus action to turn yourself invisible?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
That's my action.
And then what's the
Movement.
vaulting over the...
Yeah, so he just has his bonus.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not gonna do. I wouldn't do healing rep because I don't know his
All right.
damage.
Mm.
At this point, I've been focused on the ogre.
I'm glad you're invisible, because otherwise Grug would probably smash you.
He would punt me.
Yeah. I was going this way anyway.
Puny halfling squish.
45 points of falling damage.
You hear whispers in your ear,
Okay.
and it's your fault. It's your fault. He's dead because of you. So go and roll me a wisdom.
Those guys are going down.
Whoever these bastards are.
Wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2.
Obviously, there's a great weight of guilt
So you
on my
take
shoulders.
3 psychic damage,
Okay.
and then you have disadvantage on your next attack. And you get a flash of a figure in the trees, both of you, and then it disappears without a trace. Just kind of blends in with the surroundings and fades from view.
Okay.
Going in a specific direction.
Nope, just kind of like it's like
Just-
turning and it's just gone.
But we could see
You could see something.
where it was.
Towards
Yep.
him,
Mhm.
towards you on the map from the map.
Yep, it would
Okay.
it would be over here, just towards the tree line.
Okay.
And then it is Grug's turn.
Does the disadvantage on my next attack last forever, or is it just if
Just
I attack
The next attack
turn?
before the creature's next turn.
Okay.
Yep.
So if I don't even make an attack this
Yeah.
turn,
Mm-hmm.
it goes away.
Yep.
Got it.
Greg is going to. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? He's gonna go running past here. I need you to roll me an acrobatics check as he just barrels past you.
20, 20, 20,
Yeah.
20, 20.
And as he's running by, he picks up this great club in his hand and he starts like dragging it along the side of the bridge.
That's a Dex. Which one?
It's acrobatics.
Acrobatics. 9.
9. So you go tumbling off onto the boulder. It's not enough to cause any damage or anything. Yeah. But you'll. And then he's gonna swing that club overhead and bring it down on you.
Yes, it's when I cast it.
Which is going to be a 12.
17.
Yep. So he brings it down and you just kind of, you're distraught for a moment, but you realize you still got to move and you kind of dive under the club and you'll be doing your thing in a moment here.
Okay.
The croc is very baffled that his gnome has disappeared. My snack! Now I have to go to the main course! Yeah!
It's for all the
It's a
fish.
talking crocodile?
Yeah, that's just what he was thinking.
He said it in crocodilian though. Does anybody speak crocodilian?
Is that anything like draconic? Yeah.
And under.
It's like ancient draconic.
Sorry.
Prehistoric.
I get
Yep.
bits.
That's a 20 versus your AC.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Okay. So
Barely.
just a little bit.
Smidgen.
Actually, for her, it is just kind of just barely.
Yeah.
And that is a total of 9 piercing damage, and you're grappled by it.
-3.
Oh.
Or reduced by 3 because, yeah.
With heavy armor master,
Yes.
nice. So 6 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes that easier.
Was that the feat that you took?
Yes.
Nice.
Gave her +1 strength too, which is why she's been eating more tonight, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but at the top,
Ari,
D20s float to the top.
Okay. So,
they're more buoyant.
if I tried to move out of his range, he would get an attack of opportunity at this
Yes,
point.
unless you take the disengage
Disengage.
action.
Okay, I'm going to.
You sure that's not a bag full of
Hold on one
D20?
sec.
Now I think you're just searching for them.
Let me just, I just want to
Oh my
see. That's
You roll quite a bit of
Okay,
D20.
as an action.
Okay,
use
look
my
down on the way. Here's a D4.
Roll all of them at once.
These ones all at the bottom. Weird.
and as I could go
That's funny.
use.
It's like your dad has an order system.
Monastic tradition to no. I'm just trying to determine if I can spend a key point to disengage as a bonus action, so I'll still have an action. You know what I mean? I think I can, but I can't find where that's written. No. Deploy missiles, unarmored movement key. Oh, here we go. When you spend key points, some of your key features, flurry blows, patient defense, step of the wind. You can spend 1 key point to take the disengage or dash action as a bonus action on your turn, and your jump distance is double.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to spend a key point to disengage as a bonus action.
Okay.
And then let me make sure I mark that. And then I'm going to run over here until I get like into sort of like maybe close to where I saw the thing that I saw.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't know how far, like if I'm off the page at this point, but
yeah.
And then I'm gonna spend my final 2 key points as my action to cast silence.
Okay.
Where I saw the glimmer.
So go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Okay.
I'm gonna run right into the silence and be like, F, what the heck?
F words. Oh jeez.
Fighting
Bad on
words.
this perception tonight.
So you run over along the sidewall, land down, and just like you just feel that shadow burst out from you, and this cloud of silence just hits. Not sure if you hit anything.
Yeah, hopefully some creature. I don't know, key points and everything. I hate only having 4.
Okay. Then it is croc number 2 is dead. That means it's Akio's turn.
Oh. Okay. I look at
like a milk choke, right?
Grug, dude,
Okay.
and I say,
Scorching ray.
yeah. I do say that actually.
It's a good phrase.
All 3 beams.
Why won't you die?
Why won't you
And
just
all 3
die?
beams, and now I'm out of level 2 slots. It's okay, plus 5 to hit. Oops, that doesn't count as well.
Well, no, it fell.
19 to hit.
19 will hit.
And
So you have to roll 3 times.
oh, you want me to do?
Yeah, you'll roll all 3 attacks.
So 19, 23,
That'll hit.
and 22.
Okay, all 3 hit.
Nice. Okay. 3, 9 on the first one.
Okay.
And
Burn, baby, burn.
9 on the second one. And
Accio Inferno.
come on, give me an
Burn, baby, burn.
8 on the third one.
Nice.
So much damage.
So that's a total of 26.
Scorching ray. 26 damage.
26 damage. As you just bam, 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 3 little like dots in the air, and they just beam into Grug's back, and he just roars and kind of swings his club wildly.
Not dead yet.
Not dead yet.
Wow. What a punk.
What a punk.
And then I want to move behind Lunera so I don't get attacked. And I got right there.
Thornock, it is your turn.
Is there anyone alive close to me?
There is a crocodile just 5 feet away from you.
On the prow of the ship.
I'm gonna kill him.
Ah! Go ahead and roll your attack.
The heart needs a new pair of
Were you
boots.
roaring for him?
Yes.
He's a Wookiee.
Grr. I played a Wookiee in a Star Wars game one time. Totally freaked out my friends because, well, Wookiees hate Transdojians, right? Because Transdojians enslaved him. And we ended up fighting this Transdojian, and we stole his ship. And as we're flying away, yeah. Bosk, basically.
Yeah,
As we're flying away, I grab the Transdojan that's on the ship still, and I rip out his two of his fangs, and then huck him out the airlock, and just watch him plummet below. And everybody was just like, I was like, I'm a Wookiee. Like,
Right.
what do you expect?
Right?
I rolled a 17.
That'll hit.
This is my Wookiee business.
Barbarian math.
Barbarian.
9.
9 damage.
9.
Okay, so you stab into its side and pull back and kind of thrashes a little bit. Ah. How dare you, he says in Crocodilian.
I don't know what you
Looking
said.
down understands is how and you.
Yep.
Oh, how you doing?
Actually, there's a little bit of a weird translation, so it says "How thank you." It's just, that doesn't make any sense.
This guy likes getting stabbed. It's
The crocodile's a little weird, you guys. Lunera.
I think when you hit his brain.
Yeah.
Alright, I am definitely going to slice and dice at that croc.
Okay, slice first.
Slice first. 15 plus 5, 20.
That will hit.
Okay.
So does the slice. Axes dice.
With a total of 7
Dice
damage.
and Troy.
Okay.
Destroying.
And then go ahead and dice.
Slice. You sliced, and now you're dicing.
Oh my god!
I shouldn't have said anything. There's a 2.
Yeah, so 2 plus 5, 7.
All right, so you slice him pretty good.
I mean, a 16. Plus 5.
Hey, none of that barbarian math.
With my
Alright.
plus 12 modifier.
Brom, it's actually your turn now.
Okay. So I'm going to be a little put off that my perfect landing was despoiled by such large said creature. And I'm just going to be like,
Over hip.
I'm going to be looking around. I'm going to look at him. And I'm going to run up with my little gnomish features right between his legs, and I'm going to thunderclap right in his groin. Oh! I'll teach you!
So you're still invisible,
I'm
right?
still invisible until I cast this. So I'm like,
Okay.
and then suddenly I appear. I'm like, jam! And then
Turn him
I'm
this
gonna
way.
try and blow his legs out from underneath him, and hopefully get out of the way before he falls on me.
Okay.
You're gonna launch him into the. He's gonna river.
So that's my held action, is to dodge out of the way when he falls. And it is a Constitution saving throw of 13.
Okay.
It is at the first level. I'm doing 2d8. That's a d8, right?
He actually makes a saving throw.
Okay, so I'll take half damage, and he will not be knocked away. So
But it will be very uncomfortable.
yes, 2, 5. That's 5 damage
5 damage?
in his nethers.
Is that 5 total or 5 halved?
5 total,
Okay.
halved 3.
Okay.
Yes.
He goes, "Oh," and then looks at it and goes, "Stupid tiny man."
That was
I'm gonna use the rest of my movement and run away.
less of a thunder wave
That was
and more of a
1, 2,
thunder
It was
whisper.
a thunder tickle.
3, 4, 5. You can get here or you can run the other way.
I'm gonna run towards Ari.
Okay.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's about as far as you can get because you're 25, right?
Yeah, 25 is as far as I go. So I'm just that's my jump. And did I see if did I saw the damage that you're doing? How much have how knowing Ari and been in battles before, would I know how relatively how damaged
Oh,
He has
healthy or not?
Ari hasn't hit Grug.
So
If that's what you're
Ari,
wondering about.
well, does Ari have any?
Oh,
I haven't been hit yet.
Okay, so I would know
Yeah.
then. I wouldn't need.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
and then it is Grug's turn because something happens over here, or does it? Grug is gonna go. Tiny man kill.
He's gonna punt me. No.
He will bring his club in a sweeping arc.
Like Happy Gilmore style.
Yes. And he will get a 17.
It's
Okay.
going down.
I need you.
Should we go to swing it?
That's 10 bludgeoning damage.
Gnome taste in a minute. No, but he's got a complex, guys.
And he just hits you into the sidewall, and then he rears back for another strike later.
So is it like a...
Yes.
This guy goes, screw this, and dives back into the water and starts swimming this way.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you use spells underwater?
Yeah. Think so.
Underwater chase.
I'll bet you can
How
finish him
often
with
do you
like
get
a
to do an
magic
underwater
missile or
chase?
something.
Ari, it is your turn.
Alright. Well,
Chase the croc. Get the croc.
no. Croc does not concern me.
Okay.
I noticed that, I can't tell if I took out those little dudes and I see my friend over here getting pasted, so I scramble back and make an attack against.
So he's got his club and he slams it into the sidewall, and you just spin around and you just run up the club to deliver a quick kick or two.
Oh, I've got a death blow in mind if I can finish him.
Perfect.
First attack is a 10.
A 10, that will miss.
Second
Are
attack.
you making a key point? Or
I'm out of hit points, but this is just my second unarmed strike.
Okay.
Or my only unarmed strike.
Yeah,
Second attack was a 19
that'll hit.
for, come on, give me something big. 8 damage.
8 damage. He's still alive, unfortunately.
Jump off his club and
Still alive.
You just kind of just roundhouse him in the face as you're coming down.
drop down.
And then it is Akio.
I say it's only fitting that this started with acid to end it with acid. And I acid splash him.
Okay.
He needs to do a dexterity of 13.
Dexterity. Well, he rolled a 12.
Come on, big money. And 4 damage.
So
It's pretty lame.
he takes 4 acid
It
damage.
might be cool cinematically. Let's see.
Oh yeah, you definitely scar up his face and shit. Yeah.
Whoa.
Perfect.
The left half, not the right half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what you were worried about, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
And then it is Thornock, it's your turn.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
You're fine. So there's an ogre on the bridge still, and there's a crocodile swimming away, but there's nothing on the boat.
And there's something in the bushes, but we don't know what. Maybe two something.
Where are the bushes?
Over here. On the
Left side.
left side of the map.
If I jump, can I make it to the bushes?
Roll me an athletics check, which I'm sure, as a barbarian. 2, 3. You'll probably be able to make it about right there.
21.
Yeah.
Rage jump.
Yeah, so you barrel past Lunera and you make it to this side right here, but you don't see anything. You want to continue your movement?
Yeah, I want to continue my movement.
Okay. And which way?
I want to go north towards the bridge
Okay.
as far as I can, and if I don't see anything, I'm going to throw a javelin at troll guy.
So continuing your movement will be your other action. That's what I meant by continue your movement.
Can I just turn and throw a javelin at the other guy?
Yep.
I hope it's a javelin of a
21.
21 will hit. Go ahead and roll me damage.
Eight damage.
8 damage. Okay.
Any creature or object entirely inside the sphere of my silence is immune to thunder damage for future reference.
Alright, he's still
It would be
alive.
bad for you to
Yeah.
thunder wave in there and be like, nothing.
And then it is Lunera's turn.
Thunder. It did work.
How far away is it?
The crocodile
To
do
the-
jump
to
off
grab-
the bridge onto its back and kill it. You will have killed all 3 crocodile hunters, and forevermore shall be known as Crocodile Dundee.
Roughly get your Bowie knife.
Lunera. Crundy.
Lunar Grindy. All right.
Technically, with a good enough athletics check, you could make it.
All right. Well, okay. I will do it. I will hunt that sucker down and kill it. All right. Here we go.
That experience bag is getting away. I mean, that crocodile's getting away.
That pile of experience points in the shape of a crocodile.
Oh my gosh. Stupid. Okay.
So it's a 9 or a 6.
Right. No, I understand.
That's the only time that I ever see you like twisting the
No,
dice.
so there's like 2 marks on both sides. I'm like, okay, which one is the actual one? So it's actually 6 plus 5, or excuse me, no, athletics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh.
Total of 10.
10? Yeah, so you make it onto the boulder, and then you kind of get up to about here as you're racing towards it. Actually, it'll probably be right here because you're probably running diagonally. So you can't see the crocodile.
Can I do my second action?
So you can turn your, oh yeah, you have your action surge, don't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can turn your other attack into a move and definitely get off into the water, and then, yeah, okay.
All right. Yeah. So I do that.
So you'll have to dive, so you'll be coming down on the crocodile.
Dive. Okay, so then I
We can do this.
for
Your
the
sword.
action surge.
Yep. And then make your attack.
Oh, nice.
16.
Yeah, slice.
16 plus
on.
5, 21.
21, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Kill it.
Plus 3, 7 damage.
That's enough. So you come down and you just like slam into the croc, and then like you sit there for a moment like you're riding it, and then it slowly sinks into the water, and so do you.
Crap. Guys, I can't swim. No, I'm just kidding.
Just kidding.
Just
kidding.
gotcha. I like how you named your
it's
sword
like-
Slice, by the way. Slice
Like,
and dice.
guys, I'm still stuck on it. It's going down
So you're just like on a crocodile raft now, right? Yeah. You're continuing downriver.
Cool.
Okay, so that croc dead, and then it is Brom's turn.
Okay. Breathing heavily after been heavily pasted.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to.
Heal yourself. Maybe he'll attack me.
It's probably. I can't remember. Taking a potion, is that a action or a bonus action?
It's an action.
Is it full action?
Yep.
Do you have any spell slots left?
I do, but I don't know if we're gonna fight. That's why I'm worried.
Literally, like the first portion of this chapter on ogres is that they have furious tempers which flare up at the smallest perceived offense.
Get off my bridge, perfect jerk.
Okay, so I'm gonna draw my take a healing word, first level.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast it on myself. Be healed. And
Which comes out as more of a wheeze, a healing wheeze.
I'm gonna pull out my rapier, and then I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna go finish the job. I'm gonna right up into his groin again.
Okay, go and roll me the
Because
attack.
that's all I can reach. It's either his knees, ankles, groin. That's the.
I mean, you could
So let's do
put a
1d4.
tendon maybe on his ankle.
I just figured it's the least armored area on his body.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Good
So
point.
3. Yeah, that's 6 points of
But
healing.
after. Oh, sorry.
Should have chanted some magical underwear.
6 of
It just casts prestidigitation.
So now I'm gonna roll for my rapier, which is +4. Oh. Get everything up. That's 11, 15.
That will hit.
1d8 +2. That's this one, right?
Yeah.
It's a 5, 6, 7.
That's enough. So
And I'm just gonna do the whole like samurai thing where I come through. I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna come out the other side and watch him fall behind.
and he's kind of he does that stagger for a moment, and then he falls right on top of Glib.
Yes.
Okay.
Flick the blood off on it.
It looks like my silence worked, or those guys ran away. One of the two. So let's.
Well, they're invisible, so you can just say it worked, and everybody would probably
Right,
believe
exactly.
you.
Make silence to me, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
You're welcome. back to the top of the round, or
That is the end of combat.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm going into the bushes.
You're gonna chase after the.
Yes. I want to see what it was.
So Ari spins around and just starts running into the woods.
Do ogres have anything valuable?
You want to go search the
follow.
ogre?
Yeah.
Okay, Thornock follows.
I just want some gold or something. They've obviously.
Akio manages to stumble his way onto the boulder and up onto the thing, and the guys call out, "It'll be half a day before we can clear the boulder, buddy." And you go searching through the ogre pouches, which is literally just like nothing.
House.
Yeah.
Where are all their toll monies?
Yeah, what the heck? This
They-
has been their first toll.
I'm going to
What a
feign.
terrible first day on the job.
I'm going to feign that I am not tired and beat the crap out of, and tell Akio and Lunira the story of my excellent dismount.
Okay.
But I'm going to leave out the part of the.
Actually, I should probably join the group. You know, still
Try and
floating
swim
down
to
the
shore,
river.
Yeah.
Lunar comes up on the bridge.
In your splint mail.
You don't like shake off any of the water so much as just as like you're like marching forward. It just kind of steams off of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you two are gone.
Self-dry.
So, Crocodile Dundee.
But no, you do not on these ogres.
Lame. I want a crocodile tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
How
could
about a
sell it.
tooth?
Okay.
I think the scales might be worth something though.
All right. So one of the crocodiles is gone. This one's still kind of floating in the river
I
here.
don't want the full tail. I just want like a fillet of some of the
Okay.
scales.
Can I ask the dude in the barge if he can get it closer to the shore so we can get one of the horses off?
And he drops a plank.
Okay,
Nice.
I'm gonna take my horse because I can't catch up with those guys
Okay.
without something. And I'm
Alright.
gonna use my horse to go after.
Okay. So you're gonna go after them too. And what about Lunar and Akio?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Into the breach. Okay.
I'll go
Right.
And
Bullseye.
as you all move into the forest, that is where we're going to end it tonight.
It's already 11:45.
So let me grab your experience really quick.
Too short.
Good work. Good.
It does feel incredibly short after
Last time?
after last time. Yes.
Felt about the same to me.
If only we could have, you know, like
Not work on Tuesdays.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We should do tissue.
Extra day of the week.
Or no work on Fridays, and then we can play every Thursday.
Thursdays. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Game day Fridays. I know some companies do.
All right. So what? Not divided by 3. There's 5 of you. 240 experience apiece.
40.
Okay. I'll take it.
I assume we didn't get anything for like all of our pre-battle shenanigans with what's his bucket.
A drinking contest, so I don't think I get any.
Thornock gets 50 experience for beating Froome in his
240?
Yeah.
combat.
Sweet.
And then we'll go ahead and give you all 150 XP for driving the story forward and doing some excellent role playing. I always forget about RP XP.
140. Is that what I heard?
Was it 140 or 150?
150.
50.
150. Need about 350.
100.
On my way to level. Okay, I'm gonna add crocodile skin to.
Yes.
Oh,
All right.
it's fun.
Well done, guys.
Sweet.
Bravo indeed.
Bravo.
I'm on level 2 spell, so hopefully these guys are easy.
Good work, Thornock.
Thanks.
Showed that billowing, bearded dude who's boss.
It worked out pretty well. I don't know how long I'm going to use a shield.
Has it been just like what's going on?
Can the spikes on
My DPS is just way lower.
Yeah. The spikes on the shield is more for flavor.
You can't like shield
Yeah.
bash. Or,
I mean, he can. It'd probably be like a D6 or something like that at the most.
are there any like feats or abilities that give you any sort of like bonus to shield stuff? Can you like stun somebody with a shield bash?
Technically, yeah, there are, but I can pick up like Constitution or Dex skill points, and that'll raise my AC as much as a shield.
All right.
I made a mistake.
What did you do?
So when I was making the jump, I was looking at my old character sheet.
Oh.
And because,
Yeah, so it would have been 11, not 10.
yeah,
Yeah, because your strength went up by 1.
but I still, would I have made it if I hit 11?
No, I mean, you would have made pretty much the exact same thing.
Okay. And it worked out.
Yeah.
So we're not taking a rest at all then, correct?
No, you guys did not even take a short rest, so.
We're pursuing
Yep,
whatever was glimmering in the woods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bag of hit points. I mean,
the bag of
The
XP.
bag of XP.
Yep.
Ari's pretty pissed. One of them brought something up,
Yeah,
obviously.
and I'm mad that I have a +5 to perception, but I rolled a 2 and a 3,
Yeah.
so I couldn't see them or whatever they were or wherever they were going. That's okay. I was much better in combat tonight. It's gratifying.
All right, well, thanks, everybody. It was fun.
thanks, Reese.
See you next Monday.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's so far away.
Same bat
Thanks for
time.
having me. It was good.
Same
Yeah,
bat time, same bat channel.
indeed.
Yeah.
Here's your Sharpie back.
Get out. Get out.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye. Good night.
End stream. Don't forget to like, subscribe, whatever.